at least 2 months with that quad tendon injury, and it's desperately bad luck, and your heart breaks for the kid because he's much loved and much respected down here, and missed last year completely because of the toe and all the rest of it. So, but he is a player that they could ill afford to lose so early into the season. So you take him on faith. If you're a believer, then you'll be confident about their ability to regroup. But
the thing that is concerning is there's a heavy reliance on Paddy Dangerfield. Still. I mean, the diet, it plays well, Tommy Atkins, but he's a hunter of men.
Yes.
And he puts his head over the footy, but not necessarily the best once she spreads on the outside. And O'Connor, again, who is listed here in the guts, so he plays more of as a defensive midfielder, or has done at times. Max Holmes is the one, I think.
Yeah.
He's the one who has some genuine speed, can break the lines. Again, I think it was Chris Scott that said he may be the best player in the competition at some point during his career, which is a fair rap.
It's a big call.
And I haven't quite seen that myself. Obviously, I don't deal with him every day, and he must have impressed many times at training. But let's see him convert that into a massive game at this level. Even if it is tonight in pre-season, it means nothing. I'd love to see Max Holmes come in and have 30 and kick one and just show that he can be a dominant force, because he's going to be a key, because as you mentioned, when it gets to the outside, there's not a lot of speed throughout this Cats midfield, and there's not a lot of youth today that really you look at and think, well, this is the future of this footy club.
Hold your thoughts on that. We'll get a break out of the way. We're here at GMHBA Stadium. We're awaiting the arrival of the two teams on this pristine playing field. We'll get closer to the opening bounce on the other side of the break, obviously. AFL Nation for McDonald's, the new McCrispy at Macca's. We're here at Geelong for Geelong hosting the Bombers.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
The early bird deadline in the Royal Melbourne Hospital Home Lottery is midnight tonight. You could win a Maserati and $100,000. Get your tickets at rmh.com.au.
The biggest EPL games live every Saturday and Sunday night, live right here on SEN.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
Tyre Power's Big Easter sale gives you the power to save on a huge range of Toyo tyres. Hop in and get the power of a sweet deal on Toyo tyres for your car or SUV. Buy 3 and get 1 free. That's buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo tyres right now at Tyre Power. Get the power to have a safe Easter on the road with Tyre Power's Big Easter sale. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 132191 for your local independent owner.
Whether you're a busy household looking for family-friendly options, or love the feel and comfort of luxurious natural wool, or maybe it's a healthy choice asthma-friendly carpet, then Choices Flooring has the range, colours, textures and savings you've been looking for during our Carpet by Design sale event. Go online at choicesflooring.com.au and discover the carpet solution that's just right for you. With savings across the range, now is the time to visit your nearest Choices Flooring showroom.
Good afternoon. There are delays following a crash on the Westgate Bridge inbound this afternoon, as well as reports of an incident over on the Pakenham Bypass inbound before Cardinia Road. There has also been reports of an incident in Officer South this afternoon on Cardinia Road, south of the Pakenham Bypass. If you've had something stolen from your car, report online anytime. When you need the police but not the sirens, search Report Online or visit police.vic.gov.au, authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne. And hear the Cats taking on the Bombers, followed by the Power and Dockers, straight after the cricket today on SEN.
The all-new Amarok is Volkswagen's toughest and most capable ute yet, and available now at Berwick Volkswagen. With a 3.5-tonne brake towing capacity, experience it firsthand at Victoria's largest Volkswagen commercial vehicle dealership, Berwick Volkswagen, the home of the Amarok.
LMCT 12366. Hi, it's Emma Martino from State Transport. Covering the Eastern Seaboard and beyond, State Transport has no boundaries when it comes to delivering your freight within Australia, no matter how big or how small. We help our customers win on and off the road, and you can rely on our 24/7 round-the-clock services. Call us on 134 888. State Transport. Our people are your solution.
State Transport. Our people are your solution.
So you're ready to engage in another footy season, and you've also planned the perfect proposal to the love of your life. You just need the ring. Empress Diamonds have you covered. You could win an incredible engagement ring worth 10 grand thanks to Empress Diamonds, Melbourne's first diamond wholesalers to the public. Yep, that's right, an incredible royal quality diamond engagement ring worth 10 grand, all thanks to Empress Diamonds. To win, visit iconwin.com.au.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
Indeed you are. For Macca's, the new McCrispy at Macca's is a very tasty morsel. And if you're here today and you're listening to us via whatever frequency you're tuning in, make sure you go and get a McCrispy on the way home, because they are delicious. Adam Cooney, Andy Marr bringing you all the action as the community series in the lead up to next Thursday night season opener continues. Geelong hosting the Bombers down here today in lovely conditions. And as you can tell with our operating effects, Mike Coons, which 25 minutes ago, let's be honest, we didn't know whether we'd have a functional broadcast happening here this afternoon, this evening, picking up the song which signals that the Geelong Footy Club is out on the deck.
It's in a great position too.
Yeah.
I did put that up myself, so no one really to blame. But it is smack bang in the middle of the commentary booth. So left of goal towards the Joel Selwood stand end, I cannot see.
Well, you might have to just stand up.
Or just guess.
No, just stand up.
A bit of soreness with the patella recently, so I'm not too keen on jumping up and down.
You just
still pre-season.
Just ease. That's true.
You might have
that
to jab me up to get me through, Andy.
So a lot to look forward to. The Cats have got a couple of young players out there. And I mean, you mentioned the fact that they haven't got, a heap of young players who are, sort of forcing their way in. But there's a couple of interesting names. Sean Manor, the Irishman, is one of them who, in fact, he's not an Irishman. I'm talking about Sheen Mullen, of course. Sean Manor's the veteran who comes out of the Werribee VFL program, who's been knocking on the door for years and putting up outstanding performances at VFL level. So he's not a youngster, but he's a new name that comes into the lineup. And again, 26 years of age, rewarded for outstanding efforts at the tier below.
Yes, year after year.
Year after year, and gets an opportunity to, stake a claim here this afternoon.
Out of the Michael Barlow Football Factory.
Correct.
I believe, who's gone on now to bigger and better things at AFL level. So, yes, isn't that a great story? Reward for effort, toiling away year after year in the VFL. Well, it must be hard to think that, you've missed out draft after draft. Your ultimate dream is obviously to play AFL, and at a mature age has an unbelievable year and gets picked up by Geelong. This is why I love Geelong's recruiting staff and how, I suppose, differently at times they look at players and they look at different lists and games. And we've spoken about different products being picked out of Queenscliff and Barwon Heads down here. Jai Clark, another one who gets an opportunity today. So these are the guys I'm really looking forward to seeing. Ollie Dempsey's got the pink wheels on, so hopefully he gets a kick in there.
Took an absolute hanger last week.
Hang time. So he's got some talent, there's no doubt about that. And I want to see more of the Geelong kids. It has been an extremely hard team to crack into. over the past few years. I understand, or probably for the best part of a decade now. Not a lot of young players do get the opportunity, but when they do, they often shine. And hopefully, a few of them can stake their claim for a round one spot here.
So the new names who are pressing for senior selection based on the side that's been selected this afternoon would be Manor, Clark, Dempsey, Neal and Mullen, the Irishman, and they've all played less than, well, Manor's yet to play a game at senior level, but they've all played less than 7 games of the players that we've just mentioned. So that there is a wave of players who are knocking on the door. Some of them have been around the footy club, for 12 to 24 months. So they're not brand new names and they're not brand new faces, but they are trying to force their way into a team that is going to rely on the old stages. I mean, again, last week, it's a pity that there's no Jack Henry today because he was... Ollie Henry, I beg your pardon. He was outstanding last week and looked as sharp as a tack.
Oh, Jack.
And that foil between and around Cameron and Hawkins, he's just the perfect third option. He can get it above his head. We know that. Beautiful finisher. Dangerous matchup. He's not here today, but they're saying out of Geelong that it's a precautionary ankle issue, so at this particular point no stress from
good to go for round one.
An opening round perspective. But
he's got some X factor, doesn't he?
They have. He has.
The forward line does for Geelong.
That's right. I mean, look, go back 2 years ago to when Tyson Stengel was doing his thing.
All Australian.
Disappointing year last year, but still kicked 27, I think he did last year. So he wasn't hopeless in terms of his productivity, but we know that he's capable of doing double that.
Yeah, and then you've got Brian Myers, who's one of the more creative half forwards in the game, who plays really high and gets up the ground to help defend, but also loses his man on the way back. And he's a crafty finisher too, not only in front of goals, but putting teammates in good positions and spotting up when it looks like he's going to go long, he feigns short. So he's a really good ball user forward of centre. So they do have some class forward of the ball. You're right though, when you pointed out about the midfield, that's maybe their deficiency that they can hopefully fill with some of these younger players.
Yeah, that's what they're going to be banking on clearly. And it was fascinating last week. Myers was, if you were going to be awarding votes after last week's game, Myers was probably the one that you would have been looking to give the 3 votes to. Every time he touched the footy last week, something good seemed to happen for the Cats. And if you are Jeremy Cameron or Tommy Hawkins, every time that kid gets his hands on the footy, you get your wheels going and get active. We'll get a break out of the way. Both sides out on the ground here. Umpires are going through their final pace in the middle of the ground. When we come back, we'll have the opening bounce between Geelong and Essendon. AFL Nation for McDonald's, the Nimia Crispy at Macca's.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
The Fenton & Fenton annual warehouse sale is on now till Sunday. Up to 70% off statement furniture, outdoor living, homewares and more. Hurry into Fenton & Fenton Oakley South today.
Good afternoon. There are delays following a crash on the Ring Road Greensboro bound after Sydney Road. There has also been reports of an incident over in Officers South, Cardinia Road south of the Pakenham Bypass, as well as reports of an incident in Clarinda on the Dingley Bypass at Kingston Road. Win over $934 million in tomorrow morning's USA Mega Lotto. Get more zeros in your life with Australia's own lotteryoffice.com.au. Hurry, draw closes soon. And hear the Cats taking on the Bombers, followed by the Power and Dockers straight after the cricket today on SEN.
The biggest EPL games live every Saturday and Sunday night, live right here on SEN.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
Here's another powerful reason to choose Tyre Power. If you're into getting off-road, get into Tyre Power. We're the four-wheel drive tyre, wheel and suspension experts, which means you get the power of a great range of four-wheel drive tyre brands to suit any vehicle and any terrain. Plus, the expert advice to make your next four-wheel drive adventure a safe one. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 132191 for your local independent owner.
Hi, I'm Ashley Nelson from O'Brien Real Estate. Thinking about selling your home? Make 2024 your year with O'Brien Real Estate. Whilst interest rates are steady, now is the perfect time for buying and selling a home. At O'Brien Real Estate, we're here to help you reach a wider pool of buyers whilst benefiting from our exclusive advertising offers. Interested? Visit obre.com.au or call your favourite O'Brien sales agent. That's obre.com.au.
o'brienrealestate.com.au. The difference is our people and local knowledge.
Experience a luxury BMW electric vehicle without the luxury car tax at Berwick BMW. The fully electric BMW i4 eDrive 35 is now available below the luxury car tax threshold. Visit Berwick BMW today. Conditions apply. LMCT 8953.
Whether you're a busy household looking for family-friendly options or love the feel and comfort of luxurious natural wool, or maybe it's a healthy choice asthma-friendly carpet, then Choices Flooring has the range, colours, textures and savings you've been looking for during our Carpet by Design sale event. Go online at choicesflooring.com.au and discover the carpet solution that's just right for you. With savings across the range, now is the time to visit your nearest Choices Flooring showroom.
Mimosa Homes V Collection is redefining what's possible on a budget, with V Collection homes starting from $189K and now includes free site costs. Discover full turnkey options ready to move in, including driveway, landscaping, fencing and more. Build your own personalised quote online. Visit mimosahomes.com.au. Mimosa Homes V Collection, where quality is made affordable. T's and C's apply. V Collection homes only.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
Good afternoon. There has been a breakdown on the Monash Freeway inbound after Warrigal Road. The right-hand lane is currently closed there. There has also been reports of an incident over on the Eastern Freeway inbound before Boleyn Road and a crash in Mount Martha on the Nepean Highway south of Benton's Road. Score a great deal on footy faves at BWS, like a 4-pack of Jack Daniels Double Jack cans for $30. Save 4 and Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. And hear the Cats taking on the Bombers, followed by the Power and Dockers straight after the cricket today on SEN.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
For Maccas, the new McCrispy at Maccas, Adam Cooney, Andy Marr at Kidinia Park as the players go through their final pace, about 3 or 4 minutes away from the opening bounce of this one. Have you been absorbing much of the pre-season stuff that's been dished up so far, Coons? Have you been a big watcher of what the various teams have been dishing up, or waiting for the real stuff?
I haven't seen 1 second of any game.
Well, that's good, isn't it? That's terrific.
Do you know why?
Oh, go on.
Because I don't want to get a misguided judgment on any team, because they are a bunch of horse dropping. Right. In terms of trying to get a fourth line on the team. You might be able to, I mean, if you want to watch an individual player,
that's right.
Super coach team sorted out, then it's good for that. But in terms of how you want to play and who is taking it seriously, who's looking at their GPS data, ticking off boxes in terms of running loads and all those sorts of things, there's so much that goes into a pre-season game that the average sort of punter sitting there would have no idea about. Like, someone might be on managed loads, and they play 60%. And you think, well, they've been quiet, but they just need to tick off a certain amount. So don't take anything out of these pre-season games. Having said that, I heard that Carlton are going to finish bottom 4 this year.
Well, no, well, I think if you were taking pre-season expectations and ruling a line over the teams on what they've dished up so far in their 1 or 2 games that we've seen so far, the team that has probably failed to meet expectations is probably Carlton. But
pre-season wooden spoon.
Well, yeah. So you can treat it with a grain of salt if you like. The one thing that I think has been frank through the pre-season, particularly this round of matches so far, is that if you're big believers in Collingwood, Brisbane, and GWS, and a lot of people have got them kind of routinely in their top 4, top 6, you won't be backing away from anything you've seen that those teams have dished up so far. And Melbourne played with a real edge, and you can understand why they might have had a bit more fire in the belly, in their community series game the other night against Carlton, and
got a bit to work back.
Than they might otherwise have. But they played like a team that wanted to hit the ground running at the start of 24, and they look pretty good, Melbourne. They changed a few things up. You're wondering whether they're going to have enough players again to run through the middle. Christian Salem went into the midfield, played a bit more genuine midfield time, and his ball use was a thing of beauty. So
it always is.
So there's a couple of the key takeaways. Brisbane last night, too good for Sydney. And the Giants, in the first half, they just put Gold Coast to the sword. 6 goals apiece thereafter in the second half of the game, I think it was. But they look very, very good. GWS, so that's the results so far as the players head off to their various positions here. Essendon will be going to the Selwood stand end to begin with. Langford's going to be operating out of the goal square. Peter Wright goes down there. Jake Stringer, what are you expecting from Jakey boy this year, Coons?
40-plus goals from Jake this year. He's out of contract.
So that's okay.
It's a contract year for Jakey, so he needs a big year, and I think he'll produce to try and get another deal.
So the veterans go at it in the middle to start this one. Goldstein and Stanley will take the opening bounce, and we are underway at Cardinia Park. They both look at one another. Neither really gets anything at it. Goldstein, the follow-up was pretty handy. Bombers get the first look. Merritt drives them inside forward 50. Goes down to right, can't get a hand on it. Henry gathers the footy, wrapped up, coughs it up to Colin Jasny. The umpire said play on Parrish. Drops in and takes a nice mark.
A nice clutch. Bucket hands from Darcy Parrish.
A little pack of 2 or 3 right on the arc of 50. Kicks from 52 to the top of the square right. Too much on it for him, but out the back is Guelphy, who falls onto the ball that carried beyond the primary target, and he takes the mark about 15 metres out, all but directly in front.
Well, it was nice forward pressure from Jake Stringer. He originally led up. The ball was kicked over his head, which allowed Jack Henry to just sag off, but just put the heat on, which forced the kick up high to Parrish.
What's check side from directly in front of he misses. So
why did he do that?
Don't know.
What did he do, Andy? Talk us through it.
Well, he check-sided it from about the barest of angles from 15 metres out, Coons, and he missed.
Have you got any idea why you'd want to do that?
No. The modern-day players got me completely stuffed.
That's a high degree of difficulty from 15 metres out on a slight angle.
Yeah, no, stupid.
Especially when you're a small forward too. It's a tough position. You're not going to get many looks at it for the day, Guelphy. He's a pressure player. You go back, that's a regulation drop punt. You would have kicked that straight through the...
Oh, no, I could have gone... I've got my Archies on, my thongs. I could have kicked it in the Archies.
Yeah, magic, the Archies.
They are beautiful. Well, you and I are brand ambassadors for the Archies, Coons. Merritt just pushed Atkins out of bounds, right in the agates. He pushed him, and they had a little word to one another, and they were all fine after that. McGrath, from the restart, drives the footy inside forward 50. Langford had a look, couldn't take the mark. Now here's a chance for the Cats. Holmes gets the footy and uses that speed that you want to see more of. Hawkins a long way up the ground. Footy can't get to him. Goes out of bounds in front of the Hickey stand. Vacant, and we'll have a ball in.
Did everything right then, Langford, who's become a really good one-on-one player.
Yeah.
He's on Colin Jasny, who's a big body. Just protected the drop of the ball, hit the body at the right time, did everything but bobbled the chest mark.
Ball in, out of sight of the ground. Again, the ruckman wrestle. The umpire's found something here.
He's picked one out.
Yeah, which is...
Nowhere.
Oh, if you could do something in footy in 2024, you'd see those free kicks not paid anymore. Holmes gets on the end of it, drives it inside forward. 50 close. Was going to leave it for Cameron or Hawkins, I suspected, but neither really came out. The footy seemed to hang up in the breeze, and at the end, Brad Close decided to go for it. Marks about 25 to 30 out, make it 30 out directly in front.
It's a courageous mark too from Brad Close. It looks like an easy mark up here, but down on ground level, going back with the flight, knowing that there's either going to be Hawkins or Jeremy Cameron coming up at the footy, just kept his eyes on it.
Good play, this fella. He's pulled it miles across the face of goal and out of bounds on the full.
Wasn't even close.
No, well, so the first 2 set shots we've seen, Adam, have left a bit to be desired.
At least that was a drop punt. Not sure what the Guelph man was doing.
Oh, Goldstein goes short. He signalled to everybody that that's what he's going to do. The Cat forwards pounced on it. The ball's alive now. 28. Dangerfield gets his first look at it. Tried to find Miles. Goldstein goes in, mops up, gets it to Merritt. Now McGrath runs in. In fact, it was McGrath. A couple of bounces and a nice spearing kick to your man Stringer. Out of sight of the ground. Wing position. Quick movement. Guelphy's way out on his own. 60 from home. He wants to keep moving. Cat defenders get back. He's got a couple of loosies in. Wright's all on his own. DeConey gave him a bit of latitude. Now he just kicks it slow to the defenders who got back. Cameron all the way back in defence helping out. Tracking the ball down there as we saw him do quite a bit last year. We'll have a ball up.
It was good ball movement by Essendon. McGrath coming off half back. Nice sizzling ball to Stringer. Peter Wright was on in the middle. DeConey just dropped off and was in no man's land, which allowed Guelphy to uncontested mark at half forward as well.
Durham Stringer, snap across the face, out of bounds on the full. It was all ragged and hurried and under pressure.
And Peter Wright ended up sort of floating inside 50 and was by himself for an eternity, but because it was too slow to get the footy in there, allowed De Koning to drop off again and just float across the front of the pack.
That man De Koning with the free kick out of defensive 50. Goldstein's been busy so far, reaches over the top of
running hot for Ream
Stanley and thumps it out of bounds.
Still with us?
Well, we'll find out when the real deal starts, but I know Maccas and Tyre Power are with us today. It's a point each on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts.
Well, he's shredding rubber for Tyre Power at the moment.
In fact, it's not a point each because Close kicked his out on the full, didn't he? So Cat's yet to score as they tumble it inside forward 50 again. We'll have another boundary throw-in, crowd building.
He's seriously on fire at the moment, though.
He's going well.
Goldie, he's had 5 disposals.
He's been a good player for a long time, Adam.
Safety steel sheds. Are they with us again?
I'm sure they will be. And if not, thanks for your support throughout. It's been terrific.
Appreciate it.
Tui toes it off the ground. McGrath, a long way from home, gets the footy. Caldwell tries to get it to Durham. Cut off by Holmes. They're backpedaling.
Good pressure again.
Finds its way to Tui from Duncan, and he's taken out of bounds by Stringer, your man, who's up and about early.
2 tackles for Jake Stringer inside the forward 50. I guess Essendon fans would be reasonably pleased with that early.
Oh, yeah, I think more than reasonably, if that's the standard he's setting for himself. He's got Henry for company. That'll be a good matchup. Ball thrown in, arc of 50. Got to be a free kick. I mean, sometimes you say, no, don't pay them, but then when you see the bloke, now there's the advantage taken by McGrath. Top of the square, at the back, Guelphy, and runs past him and through for another behind. Golden opportunity for number 35 for the Bombers on a couple of occasions. Just hasn't been able to make the most of it.
He's all over Reece Stanley at the moment, though. He's Todd Goldstein. It was an advantage to McGrath, who I think made the right call, kicking it to the top of the square. Just got unlucky. Snuck past Guelphy for a behind.
Stewart drove it long and strong out of defensive 50. Perkins looked the most likely in the marking contest. Couldn't mark off hands out of bounds. We'll have a throw in 2 behinds the Bombers. Yet to score the Cats on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard.
An even-numbered game at the moment. Generally, the Cats like to drop one back as they're just treading water here, but even numbers fall to the footy.
The 22s fight for the footy. Duncan got hands on it. Durham got hands on him, and we'll have a ball up. Stanley gets a better of that. Lovely tap down to Blitzarves out the back to Holmes, thumps it up towards half forward. A ball, it's just holding in that breeze going that way, so we'll keep an eye on that. Neil, who was good last week against the Blues, pokes it into the forward line and finds Stengel unattended. Now, on another day, he might get there with this. He goes into the pocket looking for Hawkins, who didn't have the city. He was caught behind Martin. He's paid the mark. So he reached over the top of the smaller opponent. Umpire judging that Hawkins got the first touch and then got the second and was paid the mark. Hard up against the boundary line.
There's no hope in a one-on-one body contest, Hawkins v Nick Martin. Hopefully he was just caught out. That's not a direct matchup because
surely
he's making that change pretty quickly.
So you go around the body from about 30 here. He's starting on the boundary line. Couple of steps in. It's fairly routine for Tommy.
Done that before, hasn't he?
Yeah. And he puts his first on the board for the afternoon and Geelong. So 7 minutes into the opening quarter, Hawkins gets his first. Geelong are on the board here for Tyre Power. Get the power and tackle road safety. 1 straight the Cats, 2 behinds the Bombers.
Good catch from Hawkins. Just too strong for Nick Martin. This is just a nice little chip forward to Stengel, who was always looking for Hawkins here. Generally, if you're inside 50, what I'd like to do when I was a player at times was pick out a forward and just wait until he got the moment where he got some separation from his defender, and then you kick it to him. And Stengel did that really well, just identified that he had the body position on Martin. How many times do you think Tom Hawkins has kicked a football from that spot?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
practice
17,417.
I reckon he's probably kicked most of them.
He looked bored by the challenge. Oh God, all right, I'll do it. So back in the middle we go. Cats. Neil got it from Bruin, but the handball missed Bruin. Setterfield goes in, tries to get him going the other way. Parrish spins out of the congestion, does nicely into the pocket. Langford a chance up in front. Second bite, couldn't take the mark. Ball spills to ground level. Cats have got good defensive representation down there, but Stringer gets in the middle of them all and just explodes out of 3 or 4, and there was some high quality opposition in there. Collar, Jasny and Stewart, a couple of them, but the snap to the near side was too near. out of bounds on the full.
We've had a couple now. Langford's got his mitts to 2 that he's spilt. Stringer's had a couple of tackles and an opportunity. That one, you'd like to see go to the top of the square.
Guthrie thumps it out. Hind, in fact, it's Redmond carries it over the boundary line out of bounds. They'll have a throw in.
He's a mercurial player, we know that, but half tackled, low percentage option from deep in the pocket. Just put that one to the top of the square, play the team game.
He does look good. Early, he looks lively. Stringer. Ball thrown in. The 2 primary ruckmen go at it again. Clark gets his first look at it, wraps the arms around the bomber who had hands on the footy early. That was McGrath. Member side of the ground in front of the interchange gates. Ball up. Goldstein beautifully down to Merritt, but he had your man Atkins with him, and the ball's not coming out of there. Again, Goldstein leaps early, this time against Blitzarves. There's a whistle, non-controlling umpire. Everyone looks at one another. Eventually they work it out off the footy against Merritt. Atkins gets the free kick. They're keen to get it to Holmes, and he runs and covers the ground easily into the pocket. Good fist from Ridley, who just signed that contract extension. He was contracted until 2026 anyway, and they gave him another 3 years for good measure. So,
lucky they got him just before the end of that 3-year deal. Extend him out for another 3 years. But I do like the look of Holmes off half back. He's been involved in a few plays. It looks like they want him to be the quarterback, get the ball into his hands as often as possible and distribute going forward. So at stoppages,
Stengel gets the footy as the Bombers couldn't get it to the boundary line, goes into the corridor. Sun was in the eyes of the intended receiver, and it was Zach Toohey who's drifted down to centre half forward, and he takes the mark, having had to come hard at it right at the very end.
So his stoppages, Max Holmes is pushing as a half backs, but in their back half, almost into a stoppage or that sort of outside, just behind the wing position, and which is allowing Essendon to have sort of one back. So Geelong generating an extra around the footy at the minute to sit back, and Max Holmes is making the most of that.
We know that Toohey's got the distance in him, a couple of stutter steps from 48, drop punt out to the back towards the player stand goal and through for behind. Holmes, 5 disposals already, Coons, 196 metres gained.
He looks good. I do want him to play more midfield time, but they need someone who's going to break the lines and generate some run and dash from half back, and he's the one at the moment that's getting it done.
So Redmond, he's got to get rid of it. Reed, he was just about cut down. McGrath, he got the kick away just in the nick of time. Langford presses up to half back to help him out, take the mark. They move the footy forward now. Duursma up towards half forward. Guelphy drops another one. He's had a chance to make an impact in this opening quarter, and he's fluffed his lines a little bit. Toohey, handball had a bit too much on it for him. Duursma goes in, takes the footy over the boundary line. Out of side, we'll have a boundary throw in.
It's an easy, uncontested mark. It's just spilt straight through the fingers, really, from Guelphy. So it could have started hot here, and it's been an average one for Guelphy so far.
Blitzarves and Wright gets to the front. The bomber lays it down. They can't extricate. Dangerfield goes over the top. Parrish has been busy. Good gather below his knees. Gets it to Martin. They like it in his hands. That's a beautiful kick in between a couple of Geelong defenders. Langford was the target, and the kick was 10 out of 10.
He's got great timing to push off and lead, Langford. He's really developed well in the last couple of years in his forward craft, as they say. So times it and judges when to go perfectly. It's become an art in his game, and the kick was sublime from Martin.
So again, almost directly in front. He'll kick from about 40 to the Selwood stand end. Deliberate approach, nice looking drop punt off the boot, and it drifts left to right, which at both ends of the ground the wind does seem to be carrying it that way, and he misses. So the Bombers 3 behind. Geelong 1-1-7 tyre power scoreboard, your trusted tyre experts. They come in short to Henry. He drives it out of defensive 50. Big pack flies up in front. Blitzarves couldn't complete the mark. Atkins' eyes on the footy, as he always does. Dempsey gets the crumb that's spilled his way. Around the body, goes inside forward 50. Ball to be won. Mackay, good gather. Gets it out to Setterfield. Sweeping handball all the way back to Duursma, whose kick's intercepted. Merritt was standing still. Stengel read it, and he cut it off in the pocket. And you reckon he'll go back and have a shot from about 35 out, a couple of steps in from the boundary line.
Well, it was great awareness and closing speed from Stengel. The kick just was a bit slow from Dersma. The handball to him put him under the pump. It wasn't a great one, 15 metres back towards Geelong's goal.
It's a vacant stand behind him. There is some breeze if it gets too high in the air. It is a lovely looking kick. And he could be a real factor if Geelong's to climb. You think Tyson Stengel's going to be in the middle of a lot of it. He kicks his first for the afternoon. Geelong's third on the board. 3-2-20, the Cats. I miss one here. Who kicked their second?
I think it's only their second.
That's only their second, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their scoreboard's gone, 2-1-13 it is, so the scoreboard's getting a little bit carried away.
Yeah, well, it's pre-season. Everyone's allowed to make a couple of mistakes, as Dersma did on that occasion. But the reason that those stands are empty behind the goals is because they're slugging you $20 to get in.
Well, it's
cost of living.
Yeah, no, it's a pre-season game too, Coons.
It's large. Up to 14's free, but my kids are starting to get a bit older than that now, so it stung $20 to get in, and the Dale wanted to come down as well, so
it was a negative on the Cooney clan.
No, I'll let him in.
Oh, good on you, mate.
They got to pay me back, but
you've got plenty. Let's be honest.
Rupiah.
Back in the middle we go. Duncan sweeps through at the centre bounce, gets it to Dangerfield, didn't get the kick away in time, and Merritt wrapped him up and wins the free kick. Gets it moving quickly, rights a long way from home, takes the mark, edge of the square, wing position, outer side, goes wider still to Jones on a long lead with Stewart in his pocket, takes the mark. Too far out to score, comes back inboard to Merritt, who's working hard as he always does. Goes short, dribbling ball and driving ball, and finds Martin all on his own. About the same spot that Kyle Langford was a couple of minutes ago.
Well, they do look good at times, Essendon, when they've got the ball in hand. Players chiselling kicks and leading up strongly. It's just when it goes back the other way that, and you mentioned it before the game, that they do get scored against at times quite easily.
They need to just get something going here on the scoreboard. They missed a couple they probably should have kicked. Martin's a lovely finisher, we know that. It's right to the line, and he does what his team need him to do. And he does get them going. He kicks his first, and his team's 1-3-9, Essendon 2-1-13. The Cats, Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. We're here for Macca's, the new McCrispy at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
It was a good build-up, a good ball use, great defensive pressure from Zach Merritt, who's built that into his game over the past 3 or 4 seasons, and leading by example, putting a big tackle on Dangerfield to win the ball back at centre-half back. And then from there, they're away. Nick Martin's getting some good run from defence as he strolls back inside defensive 50 at the moment, but he's not afraid to leave his man and get involved in an offensive chain. And Peter Wright's working really hard too, got the ball at centre-half forward, then worked back inside 50. He could have actually marked that ball. Was leading up again behind Nick Martin, so defenders getting up really high and getting involved for the Bombers. They've just got to be careful if that turnover does occur to put your head down and get back quickly.
So Wright and Blitzar's Merritt again getting busy. The skipper pokes it around the body, looks for a couple. Wright and Durham, they're going to go hard at it. Coming the other way was Buse, overruns the footy. Wright paddles it out the back nicely. Setterfield, good hands, gets it to Jones. 75 from home. His kick was poor. Straight down the throat of O'Connor. He was looking for Wright.
Well, he was on again then. Yeah, right. He's working really hard, getting up, helping out, sort of centre half forward, even up to the middle of the ground, and then working really hard back because he knows that the Geelong defenders are happy to just sag back, and they do like to protect their D50.
Good numbers around the footy here, the Bombers, as they turn it over, get it going their way. Gresham falls over, gets it to Ridley, however, comes back into the corridor. Wright was clever again, tried to fight Jones with the knock-on. He dispossesses. Now it's going to be a free kick, and the umpires called it right. It was an attempt to fend by O'Connor, and Jones laid a good tackle, Coons.
That's their third or fourth really strong tackle inside forward 50, which hasn't been a feature of their game over the past couple of years, but some strong stuff from Stringer early. Great tackle from Harrison Jones there. Go back and convert. They've had some opportunities, Essendon, no doubt about that.
Is he ever going to become Harry Jones, or is we're always going to go with Harrison?
Oh, Hazza.
Yep.
Depends how well he plays.
It's a tough kick. He'll kick from about 45, a step inside the boundary line by the time he kicks. He pokes it to the top of the square. Langford's got a good sit on this, and gee, that was poor defensive work by the Cats.
Yeah, it was. That kick works out 1 in 100.
Never.
Because everyone is onto it. Defenders know that it's going to go to the top of the square. disguised it pretty well, and Kyle, again, reading it well in flight.
He got good hands. He's a good player. And from 15 out, he kicks the drop punt and he puts it straight through. Maybe Mac Welfie can take a leaf out of his book and put the check side from that spot away. And the Bombers put their nose in front, 2-3-15. Essendon, Geelong 2-1-13. We've been going 19 and a bit minutes in this opening quarter.
It's a pretty good reward for effort from the forwards, who have started strongly in terms of how hard they're working. Peter Wright, who hasn't had a mountain of the footy, but just some little deft taps and blocks and getting up and working back. Kyle Langford has that opportunity. As I mentioned, the forward pressure from Stringer and Jones, who's getting involved now too. So positive start. They've also got 10 inside 50s with 19 minutes in the first quarter. The Cats with just 5. So they're certainly winning it around the footy. Zach Merritt's playing well early in this one. Goldstein's had the better of Stanley, and they've looked good forward to the ball.
Yeah, they have. It's the bounces. Paul will have another go. Parrish, Merritt and McGrath have had 5 apiece for the Bombers. Leading ball winners for the visitors here this afternoon. Goldstein again gets it into space, looking for Setterfield over the top. He knows he's got Parrish out the back. The ball finds him, and he can sweep it wider again. Caldwell back to Cox, back to Parrish, who wheels around. Good speed, breaks away, balances up nicely. Finds Caldwell in between wing and half forward. They're sweeping the footy forward again here. Gresham, top of the square. They can fly at it. No one can mark. Ground level. Nice stuff here. Chance for Perkins. Gets a handball out to Caldwell, who was wrapped up just as he's about to pull the trigger. Desperate tackle. Required tackle. Handball was poor. It was from Clark to put his man Holmes under all sorts of pressure. Gresham on the turnover around the body. It's a beautiful finish. Well, that's what he can do. He can hurt you. We know he's a high-class, high-quality operator. And off one step around the body from about 40, he made them pay for a poor turnover at centre-half. Backcoons 3-3-21. The Bombers, they're rolling now. Geelong 2-1-13.
What a finish from Gresham. It's just standing start, kicking around your body at his back to goal and slotted it. Gee, that's beautiful. That's what they brought him in to the club to do. Is his finishing skills, and Caldwell, who got done cold holding the footy, made up for it a split second later with just a deft tap to knock the ball out of Max Holmes' hands, and paid for it going back the other way. So yeah, Bombers are looking all right.
Yep, 3 in a row. Martin, Langford, Gresham. It's been a good response for Brad Scott,
top 4,
and his team. That's another poor bounce.
How have you seen these ruck contests between Reece Stanley and Todd Goldstein?
It's been dominant, hasn't it? I mean, one bloke looks like he really knows what he's doing.
Oh, they jumped into each other then.
But he wins it again. He's protecting the drop of the footy, and he got it to Setterfield, and they're starting to dominate around here. Parrish again. Out the back to McGrath. They balance up. It was an accidental kick that found Redmond, but now they roll, and they're punching holes through this Geelong full ground defence that's been offered at the moment. Martin, he goes short again, looks for Setterfield. He's got a couple on. Durham back to Setterfield. He's got the wide. It was an important smother. Finds its way to Parrish again, who's racking it up. Gets it to his man at half forward. Perkins, I think it was, hurried kick up towards the top of the square. There a chance. Merritt, Stringer around the body, goal. 4 in a row for the Bombers, and they are picking the Cats apart. 14 points now, the margin. Stringer gets in on the act, and it was quick ball movement, mostly by Footcoons, and Geelong offering the spaces, and the Bombers prepared to take advantage of it.
Well, they're just beating him up around the footy at the moment.
Yep.
We spoke about the midfield being their biggest issue leading into 2024, and Essendon getting it done at the moment. Goldstein being dominant over Stanley. Parrish getting plenty of the footy. They've doubled their clearances so far, 10-5, and at centre bounce they're looking really strong. Centre clearances are 5-1 at the moment. So Zach Merritt, Darcy Parrish and Big Goldie dominating against Tom Atkins, who's in there at the moment with Stanley, and Jai Clark's just rolled in there at the moment with the old boy Mitch Duncan in centre bounce as well.
Yeah, so Goldstein's been a revelation in this opening quarter. Again gets hand on it, lays it down to Parrish, went in to help. Parrish again gets first real hands on it. He's wrapped up by Duncan, and that's not coming out.
But again, you see the drop of the ball. Goldstein first there. Parrish is the next one in. Just tougher in tight at the moment.
Again, he gets first hands on a Goldstein. Durham gets the eventual footy, gets it to Ridley, who can find space. His kick batted down. McGrath goes in, keeps the footy alive. Atkins was clean. Gets it to Holmes, gets it to Brunt. Out towards Cameron, gets it back to Holmes by handball. Runs to half forward into the pocket. He goes Neal on a strong lead. That was nice flowing footy out of the middle of the ground by Geelong. And Shannon Neal marks about 40, 45 out he'll kick from.
Well, he's the guy. Holmes, again getting it done. Started at half-back, working his way to the middle of the ground. It was an important smother too. Ridley was about to kick the ball inside 50 again from the Bombers after they outnumbered and hunted in the middle of the ground. But important smother, got it going back their way. And Holmes with the delivery.
From 47, Neal kicks. It's a nice-looking drop punt across the face, however. And through from behind.
Just.
Dempsey got a few people. Adam Cooney has included a little bit excited. But the mark was behind the line. 4-3-27 the Bombers, 2-2-14 the Cats. Tyre Power scoreboard.
I wouldn't have called it ruthless last line defending from the Bombers.
No. Cox short.
That's
Redmond
8 metres.
Short. Duzma paid the mark. That was not 15. Thinks about going back to Redmond. Decides now to go long down the line. Perkins can't mark. Ground level Atkins gets the handball to Tanner Bruin. Handball out wide to Buse. Goes short down the line, just hugging the boundary line. Myers has been pretty quiet so far. Takes the marker. Kicking half out from goal. His familiar style in towards the corridor. Low, hard and flat. It gets there. Jones is down there for the Bombers. He couldn't take a win in. Cameron gets a crumb and a snap right to the line. Through from behind. 2-3-15 Geelong. 4-3-27 the Bombers. AFL Nation for McDonald's. The new McCrispy. Tried it today at Macca's.
Saw a rare moment in this game so far, which was a slow play, long kick down the line. We haven't seen a lot of it. Both teams playing a bit of slingshot footy, turnover and then go. Essendon have been good around clearances as they turn this one over.
Yeah, they've gone and got themselves into a bit of trouble here. Mackay butters up, gets it back to Caldwell down the line. Jones had to turn around. The ball didn't find him. Holmes has had plenty of it. Can't do much with that. Tried to get it to Colin Jasny. Ball spilt free. Now it's a 50-50. Stringer in there hard. In goes Guthrie. Threw the footy away. The umpire's going to pay advantage here. Comes out to Atkins via Stengel. Handball down the line to Close. Tried to find Myers. Merritt was just too strong. Bumped him off the footy. Still there to be won. Caldwell goes in and gets it. Gets it to Stringer, who's at half-back. He gets it to the youngster Reid, who there's high hopes for if he can keep his body intact. The ball will go out of bounds. Let a throw in.
It's twice we've seen Essendon forwards get deep into defensive 50 to help out. Stringer, who's walking back now, he's absolutely knackered. And Jones got in the hole last one. So they've obviously been given the instruction on turnover to get back and help.
Stengel at the arc of 50, straight up, straight down, not the required out of bounds off hands. We'll have a throw in. 52 out from the Geelong goal. 27 and a bit minutes gone.
You know what I'm really struggling to do at the moment? I'm struggling to ignore the L in Max Holmes' name. I can't.
You're Holmes.
I just don't know how to say his last name.
Holmes.
Is it just Holmes?
Holmes.
Just forget the L.
Some people like Abby Holmes likes the Holm.
Well, how can an L exist and then not exist?
It's called a silent L.
Spelt the same.
Some people just like, the L rolling, and some people don't.
Technically, I could call myself Adam Ooney if I wanted to.
Well, you could.
Well, it's a silent C.
You could do that if you wanted to. Why don't you do that?
Is it Holmes or Holmes?
No, I'm going with... Well, I've never heard him say it is Holmes, so... Sherlock Holmes, wasn't it?
Is there an L in Holmes with Sherlock?
Yeah.
But Abby Holmes is...
Yeah.
It's the same L, isn't it?
Same spelling,
It's not a capital.
No. We've missed about 17 possessions on the way through there. Guelphy Topakes are doing himself inside forward 50. Cats have got the numbers, but the Essendon forward 50 pressure's been good again. They turn it over. Durham, this will be delighting the coaching staff of the Bombers. Guelphy goes in, gets it to Merritt on his right foot. Excellent kick. Gets it to Jake. Rambles inside forward 50. Goes to home and misses badly.
No, snuck it in for a point, but
he was never going to pass that off.
Well,
Adam Ooney.
It was well within his rights.
Yeah, of course. You want your forwards to have a shot from there.
No pressure, strolling in 40 metres out. He kicks them more often than not, but just shanked it, Jake Tringer.
Jake Swinger.
Jake Swinger.
4-4-28 to 2-3-15.
Your words, not mine.
Stringer, I said. Cats get the loose footy here. Duncan gets around Redmond, gets around Ridley, then misses Dempsey with the kick. It's a ball to be won. Hard up against the boundary line now, ground level. Dempsey just gets it along the ground to close. His handball battered down by Merritt, who's been outstanding. Ridley stands up in the tackle. So is Parrish. He gets the footy now to Stringer. Sweeps the handball back to Redmond. Got to be clean. Gets it to Ridley. Back to Redmond, who's under pressure. 2 coming in now. He goes 45 metres back. And had his man Reid standing on his own. He goes short to McGrath, who's been very good in this opening quarter, as has Zach Merritt.
Just poised from Mason Redmond there. Some players would have just hacked that one long down the line. Saw Reid was by himself. Cost him a bit of distance, but they retained the footy.
Gee, that's a good kick by Merritt. He's a fine footballer. There's going to be a block here, going to be paid against Dersma. Kept Clark out of the marking contest.
There's a few in the house.
Yeah. No, well, they're booing. It's a Geelong free kick.
This is their Essendon.
Oh, he's missed. Oh, no, he has missed Cameron. So turnover, centre wing. Good stuff from Jones. His handball under pressure, missed McGrath. Hawkins throws it away to Holmes. Holmes gets the footy to Dangerfield. He goes back to Tui. Tui goes into the pocket. It's a good-looking kick in the air to Stengel. It was battered down. However, the defenders got there just in the nick of time. It was a good fist from Zach Reid. Ball goes out of bounds. 45 out from the Geelong goal. At a boundary thrown in the shade of the member stand. Lovely afternoon for footy. Mid-20s the temperature as we started this one.
Quite start for Paddy Dangerfield. We haven't called his name too often. Just the one disposal.
We don't need him going flat out at this time of the year, though. Yeah, just get the miles in the leagues, Patrick.
Yeah, maybe a couple more disposals.
So chance here for Stewart, who's a long way from home. Gathers the bouncing footy. It was an errant kick out. And he makes no mistake. Hits it full on, chest out. And from 45 on the burst, puts it through. Geelong 3-3 at 21. Essendon 4-4, 28. 31 minutes gone in the opening quarter.
Well, it's the last place you want to kick the ball under pressure. If you're deep in your defence, is straight into the middle of the ground.
Was it Dersma who threw it on the boot under pressure? It was.
Dersma just dropped the tackle first, shrugged the tackle, and then just hacked it to, well, didn't even get outside 50. Tom Stewart, brilliant positioning. Sitting 10 metres in front of Guelphy, who was waiting for that one out the back. Just sat in front, aggressive positioning as a defender, and got the reward for it. But that's a poor kick.
Yeah, he was under pressure, but yeah, the instinct needs to be not there.
Anywhere but there.
Yeah. So back in the middle we go. 7 points the margin. Bombers in front. Goldstein and again over the top of Stanley. Dangerfield around the body, but his kick intercepted by McGrath, who's been outstanding. Gives it to Ridley. Has a bounce out of side of the ground. They share it and go forward. Caldwell up towards half forward. Siren sound. So good quarter of footy. It was all the Cats early. After Essendon squandered an opportunity or two, they kicked the first 2. Then the Bombers piled on 4. Stewart's answer with about 30 seconds to go squares it a little closer. 4-4, 28 Essendon. Geelong 3-3 at 21. Any quick thoughts before we get to the break?
Well, I thought they were impressive around the ball, the Bombers. Clearly beat them in contested possession. Clearances were strong. I love the pressure that the forward 6 put on, which equated in scoring shots. So they look up. I mean, you said they got cut up last week in transition. They look to have shored that up. We've seen on a couple of occasions Essendon forwards actually getting deep inside defensive 50, which I'm assuming last week they would have been shown some vision that Essendon forwards were walking on turnover. So they've clearly listened this week, defending a lot stronger, and I would say coach would be happy at sort of time.
Good game of footy this AFL Nation for McDonald's, the new McCrispy at Macca's, and Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
Go fetch Red Rooster's new Sweet and Sour Crunch. Crunchy, succulent fried chicken, coated in a sweet and sour sauce. The Rooster's calling. Get it where you can while you can. See website for details.
Good afternoon. There has been a breakdown on the Monash Freeway inbound after Warrigal Road. The right-hand lane is currently closed there. There has also been reports of an incident over on the Eastern Freeway inbound before Bulleen Road and reports of an incident in Wanturna on Baronia Road inbound before the Mountain Highway. Take off with Flight Centre and fly Melbourne to Singapore, London, Helsinki and LA return from just $2,815 per person. Visit flightcentre.com.au today. And hear the Cats taking on the Bombers, followed by the Power and Dockers straight after the cricket today on SEN.
The biggest EPL games live every Saturday and Sunday night, live right here on SEN.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. When National Tiles Trade Club members need an urgent delivery, we get it to them within 2 hours absolutely free. Yes, National Tiles Trade Club members get urgent deliveries within 2 hours absolutely free. So if you're a professional tiler, join the National Tiles Trade Club now for massive savings on tiles, adhesives, grouts and tools, and now free urgent deliveries. Conditions apply.
Experience a thrilling new era of driving with Essendon BMW. Explore their luxury range of electric vehicles today. They're innovative, advanced and extremely efficient. Embracing sustainability, these vehicles redefine the driving experience like never before. Now is the perfect time to make the transition into an electric vehicle with Essendon BMW. You're invited to get to Essendon BMW today, discover the range, take a test drive and experience firsthand the future of driving.
LMCT 11803. The upcoming Easter break is one of the best times of the year. We're enjoying chocolate Easter eggs, the footy's on, and we get a 4-day weekend. Happy days. Tyre Power's big Easter sale is on now too. If you're planning a road trip, take advantage of great value on Toyo tyres. Buy 3, get 1 free on Toyo passenger and SUV tyres. That's the equivalent of 25% off. And don't forget the free 5-minute tyre safety check. To find your Aussie-owned local independent Tyre Power dealer, visit tyrepower.com.au.
Hello, bank.
You say you're a proudly Australian bank.
Advance Australia.
Fair, you keep piling on the fees.
We are good by fees.
It's not fair. You keep hiking up my rate, but keep lowering the rate for new customers.
In joyful strains, then let us
switch.
Oh, fair enough.
Australian homeowners deserve fiercely fair value. Go to athena.com.au and switch for your fair share of savings. Athena, love us and leave us.
Attention all Dogs fans, keep listening to SEN this Tuesday to be part of the Western Bulldogs Membership Day. Join us for exclusive membership offers and hear from our CEO and star players as they share their insights on the upcoming season. Get ready to unleash more in 24. More excitement, more bite, more Bulldog. You don't want to miss the 2024 Western Bulldogs Membership Day here on SEN this Tuesday.
Good afternoon. There are delays following a breakdown on the Monash Freeway inbound after Warrigal Road and delays following a crash over on the Eastern Freeway inbound before Bulleen Road. IGA's 3-day sale is here. Sorbent Silky White Toilet Rolls, 24-pack, $10 each. That's a hot price. Hurry in today to your local IGA. And hear the Cats taking on the Bombers, followed by the Power and Dockers straight after the cricket today on SEN.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
So you go around the body from about 30 here. He's starting on the boundary line, couple of steps in. It's fairly routine for Tommy.
Done that before, hasn't he?
Yeah. And he puts his first on the board for the afternoon and Geelong. So 7 minutes into the opening quarter. Nice stuff here. Chance for Perkins. Gets a handball out to Caudle, who was wrapped up just as he was about to pull the trigger. Desperate tackle, required tackle. Handball was poor. It was from Clark to put his man Holmes under all sorts of pressure. Gresham on the turnover around the body. It's a beautiful finish. Well, that's what he can do. He can hurt you. We know he's a high-class, high-quality operator. And he proved it with his finish. It was one of 4 in a row the Bombers kicked in the opening quarter, and they lead by 7 points at quarter time, 4-4-28. The Cats 3-3-21. Adam Cooney joining me. Adam Ooney is renamed himself in that opening quarter.
Silent C today.
Are we thinking that Geelong was kicking into the breeze in that quarter? If there is to be a breeze, are we...
I think it's pushing across the ground towards the Bellarine Peninsula, to be honest with you.
Nice.
A bit of, from where we are situated, it's pushing across the ground, I think, because there's a couple of ball close. His set shot in the first quarter sort of faded right. Langford had one that faded right from the other end, so I'm going to go with that.
Pick your way through some of those numbers from the opening quarter if you like. You don't have to, but if there's any numbers that are jumping off the page.
Well, Parrish, McGrath and Merritt are running riot with 12, 11 and 9 disposals. So they're getting plenty of the footy in the midfield and half-back, respectively.
Second quarter underway for McDonald's and Tyre Power, and the Bombers go again. Merritt is outstanding. Up towards centre-half forward he goes. Kick had too much on it for right. Out the back, they were reading it, though. Menzies was there, couldn't get the handball away to anyone before the footy found its way to the boundary line. Gee, Zach Merritt's a good player.
It's another clearance too from the Bombers. So contested ball, as I mentioned there, been reasonably solid in 12 clearances to 7 with 5-2 out of the centre.
Goldstein, front position, gets it to Menzies around the body. Langford, top of the square. Got to be good here, the Cats. Holmes at ground level. Wrapped up by Menzies. Gets the handball away just in time to Stewart. He gets it to Blitzhoff. Geez, they're under some pressure here. This Essendon forward pressure is outstanding if you're a Bombers fan. Out of bounds, the kick. And was after the ball across the line from Zach Guthrie.
And they'll win themselves a stoppage because of it inside 50. So was it poor last week?
This is much better. They look a completely different team today. They were ragged last week and they were picked apart. They don't look ragged today. They're on. Ground level. Another tackle inside forward 50 from Stringer. That's got to be his third, I reckon, individually.
All 3 inside 50 tackles. So great to see.
Ground level. Guthrie wrapped up. Fierce tackle.
Small dump.
Yeah, players are getting good at making it look like the head's being thrown into the deck here, and hopefully the umpires can distinguish between them. Clark breaks the tackle. Nice stuff. Gets it to Duncan out of defensive 50. Ball now into open space. Myers goes back with Redmond. Redmond keeps it just in front. Didn't have it. Good call. Umpire agreed they're going to be paid advantage here. Martin on the left was a poor kick. Merritt couldn't mark it. It was a wild ball coming in. Caudle, excellent handball from Merritt to Caudle. Sets up Guelphy around the body, and that is hitting the post. Unlucky. Good movement again. Quick. They are exploding when they get the footy. The Bombers 4-5-29. Geelong 3-3-21.
Yeah, it was great positioning again. Aggressive in front as a defender from Mason Redmond, who's got the job on Myers and getting it done at the moment. Won the footy back, and then they had 3 players forward of the ball. Zach Merritt twice already in this second quarter has got forward of the footy with no other Geelong midfielder tracking him.
By comparison, it's pretty slow stuff from the Cats. Duncan switches it back inside defensive 50 all the way back to Henry. He goes to Holmes, who's had plenty of it for the Cats. Takes off, just easily cruises away from Menzies. Driving footy up towards Cameron. Mark Neal was third man up on by his fate. A free kick and was holding against Jeremy Cameron, he said.
Dug the elbow into the back, I think.
Okay. Zach Reed, the recipient. Martin, the kicker, on the way out, but that had too much on it for Cox. Blitzarves, the handball to Clark was poor. And McGrath has been very good, and then goes and gives the young Cat a bit of a shoulder charge on the way through, just to let him know that it might not be for 4 points, but they're pretty wound up here, the Bombers.
Jai Clark in and around the footy. Max Holmes again as a high defender, just stalking the back of the stoppage.
Neil gets his chance against Goldstein, but it's a similar result. Good hands from Setterfield. The handball was hot. Parrish gets the kick around the body, but Blitzarves had better body position there on Caudle. Kick wasn't 15 to Holmes again. They want to get it in his hands. You can see why. Cruises to half forward. Kick was poor. Mackay came off his man. Hawkins took the mark. Gave it to Setterfield. Quickly to Menzies. Quickly to Martin. Sweeping handball. Quickly to Merritt. Through the middle they go. Quickly to Parrish. Has a bounce through the centre circles. Sees his man out wide. It's Peter Wright. Now he has to wait for someone to present. Parrish runs on. That's ignored. Top of the square. Goes for Matt Guelphy. That was ambitious. The ball does carry. And it was a hold against Guelphy. It was a poor kick from Peter Wright. in the end.
You'd be filthy if you were Kyle Langford and the other Essendon forward. I think it was Jake Stringer. They put their head down. They run as hard as they could back inside 50. Parrish was running centre-half forward and chose to look sideways and kick the ball slow play to the half-forward flank when they had 2 one-on-ones inside 50.
And it was an outnumber too, the underman player he went for. Now the Cats have got it to half-forward. Myers gets it to Dempsey, who's got Cameron in the pocket all on his own.
It's going to cost him a goal. Just a poor decision from Parrish, running straight through centre-half forward. Chose to kick the ball wide instead of attack the goal.
So that was a bit of what we saw last week. Now, they were unlucky because the kick inside forward 50 deep was poor. Cameron around the body, cross the face, misses. But that's what we saw a lot of last week against Essendon when the Saints got hold of him.
Well, it was a fast play, so it was transition from Geelong forward line. Essendon did really well, got the ball to Parrish. It should have been a shot and goal or, a point at worst, which gives some more time to be able to set up the ground. But I just don't know why he went so slow. Wide.
They're back in their kickers here today, Essendon, and with a series of short 15, 20, 25 metre bullets, they get it from one end up towards half forward at the other end of the ground, outer side of the Cardinia Park. Out of bounds the ball goes. We'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward. But they're backing their kickers, and it's exciting to watch so far. Goldstein brings it down. Parrish has got him getting hands on it routinely. Goldstein again out the back. That way to Setterfield. High ball up towards half forward. It will be paid to mark. There was a hold off the footy. It was pretty silly by Stringer in the end. Retarded the access to the footy of Tom Stewart.
Holmes is the one at the moment, though. He's clearly been Geelong's most influential player, playing at half-back and then pushing forward.
Dempsey with another fly.
He's got some hops, the young fella.
Took a beauty last week, and that's another nice one. Off one step, up towards full forward. Big pack. Mackay can't make. That's high tackle. He was a bit unlucky. I reckon Brad Close knew exactly what he was doing.
Just a little bend to the knees.
Yep. Drew the high contact. Umpire really had no choice. It was a bang-bang sort of play, and it was just clever stuff from the Cat.
Yeah, the initial contact was over the shoulder, so umpire has to pay that one.
So 35 out, directly in front. And that's across the face. It's a really poor kick. So he's had 2 set shots, and they both missed wildly to the left. That one at least scrapes through for a behind.
Has to change his name.
Yes, he will. So the Bombers outside defensive 50. McGrath gets it from Ridley, driving footy. Could have been a free kick to the Bombers, not paid. Merritt coughs up the handball. Cameron coughs up the handball. Chance for Ridley. Takes on the tacklers, gets the handball away. McGrath always busy through traffic. Ridley again. Merritt to Dersma. That's a beautiful kick. Quickly to right. He's got 3v2 here. He takes the short option. It's Gresham. Gresham comes in the kick. The idea was right. The kick was poor. Then the mark was dropped by Kolodjasny. He should have taken it. They're under pressure now. Guthrie out the back to Duncan. He takes his time and finds Henry.
He just tried to be too cute. But on that occasion, it was Geelong, in terms of their team defence, not being organised, trying to push up. They left a big gap behind the ball, which left Gresham and also Peter Wright by himself forward of it.
O'Connor couldn't take the mark. That's going to be a free kick against Stanley. It was a crass tackle on Redmond. He's a kick and a half out. Looks to go short. Now around the body. Gives Wright a run at it. Can't mark. Ball to ground level. Guthrie to Duncan. Wheels around the tackler. Down the line he goes. He's got nice hands, Dempsey.
Yeah, I like him.
Makes a good mark against McGrath.
I'd love to see Peter Wright clunk those grabs. So the best key forwards in the competition. Make the most of those. Spare defender standing in the hole. Knee in the back. Big mark.
Good fist from Mackay to Parrish to Dersma. First hand on it from Wright against DeConey. Couldn't mark out of bounds. Forward pocket. Members side.
Up to 15 apiece. Parrish and Merritt continuing on from their first quarter. 4 clearances for Darcy Parrish. McGrath 13. Holmes with 12. 5 inside 50s playing off half back. So goes to show how attacking he is.
A goal in it. Bombers in front. Duncan. Perkins slipped the tackle. Out the back to Henry. Down the line. Mackay in good position. Redmond flew against him in the end, brought it to ground. Cameron was left on his own, got the footy. O'Connor, good fist from Ridley in a good one-on-one. Now they've got some chance here. Martin's got to be very clean. He's got 4 swarming on him. Gathers the footy, batted down. He was always outnumbered. Hawkins goes to Atkins, sweeps it into the middle of the park. Centre half forward, Duncan, lovely lead. Timed beautifully from Tui. And they always had the numbers, and they were good enough to make it pay.
He just had to be clean. Nick Martin fumbled the first, got the ball second grab, but by that stage the Geelong defence was swarming. Ollie Dempsey involved again, and then too hard to defend deep when you're trying to scramble back. No time to help get back and support, and it was a really well-timed lead from Zach Tui. Just ducked back up the tick lead at the right time.
He's maybe spending a bit more time starting in the forward line in this game so far. This is his second set shot, and his second one out to, well, this one's out to the right. Haven't got their kicking boots on. The Cats 3-6-24. The Bombers 4-5-29. AFL Nation for McDonald's and New McCrispy at Macca's. This quarter for Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. Martin kicking duty short to Reid. Heavily populated side of the ground from a fan's perspective. It's maybe only half of the ground open, but they've come in to have a look. Reid long and strong down the line. Stanley up in front, couldn't mark. Good fist from Langford in front of the interchange gates. We'll have a throw in.
Interesting that De Koning in that last kick out was just starting right back inside defensive 50, almost standing next to Peter Wright. Generally defenders get up the ground a little bit and cover that dangerous space, but he's just happy sitting back, playing that one-on-one game on right.
Parrish could have had a free kick in the initial contact. Ball spills through now. Myers, that's a brilliant little kick to close. Underground, had to be quick, was. Bruin in the pocket, great vision and lovely execution to Neil, who marks hard up against the boundary line, 25 metres out from goal.
There's another one with the bright boots.
Who go around the body, rightfully so, from this pocket. One step. It's a nice looking kick and it draws back beautifully. It's a lovely finish. First goal of the second quarter belongs to the Cats. And they lead by a point, 4-6-30 Geelong, 4-5-29 Essendon. Tyre Power bringing you the action this quarter. Get the power and tackle road safety. AFL Nation's call for McDonald's. The new McCrispy, try it today at Macca's.
Going to have to play really well, Neil, as the tall key forward in this Cats squad. He's got Hawkins, Jeremy Cameron, a 1-2 punch, and now there's Ollie Henry, who is the X-factor, sort of third tall. He's fourth in line, with Ollie Henry coming back in. Cats fans hoping round one, if he is to cement a spot, he's to almost play that sort of ruck forward role.
203 centimetres of him. He's certainly tall enough to be used in either. Ball up was a little bit skewy, but both got a hand on it, so play on was the call. Bombers get it up towards centre half forward. Durham at ground level, good clean hands. Gresham 51 out, pins the ears back, can't get much of it. To the top of the square, Langford comes at it, there's a whistle and free kick to the Bombers. What'd you see, Coontz?
Well, it's just Langford again, fighting really hard, using his body to get front position, and the defender Henry got nervous. The arm went over the shoulder. One-on-one contested work is improved out of sight.
Kick one in the first quarter. He'll pop this through, you would think, from 20 metres out, absolutely directly in front. And he squeezes it through. So it made the umpire dart to his left. But Langford answers the Neil goal immediately, and they reclaim the lead. The Bombers 5-5-35. Geelong 4-6-30. We've been going 13 minutes into the second quarter for Tyre Power.
Had more time than he anticipated there, Gresham. Just rushed the kick. There's been a couple where he lacked poise. Kicked a beautiful goal in the first quarter, but just a couple of kicks going inside 50. He's rushed. So he's an experienced player. He'll learn from that. We'll look at his individual game review, and his forwards coach will say, just calm down when you get the footy. Popped it up to a dangerous spot, though, and Langford was good enough to make it work.
Become a really important player for the Bombers. As Kyle Langford back in the middle. Peter Wright. Stanley gets over the top of Wright, gets the footy going Geelong's way, but Durham was good. Clean hands, gets it to Wright, off half back. Comes Perkins, his kick out in the path of Jones was nice. Lovely little touch kick from Perkins. Wright, Cox gets the handball from Jones, comes in short to Perkins, who pushes up towards half forward now. Quick kick, top of the square. Peter Wright, he can't get hands on it again. He had his name all over that ball as it came in. Jones steps one way, then the other. Gets a handball out to Langford, to Durham. Chance for Caldwell around the body. Goal. So was it Caldwell or Martin who had the last kick? It might have been Martin in the end, I think. So Martin kicks his second. And again, a quick chain of handballs from the Bombers, and they kept the footy alive. They eventually get it to a player at a bit of time and space, Coons, and we know what he can do.
They have looked good and sharp with their handball game, and they're outnumbered. So once the ball has hit the ground, they win that contested ball, and then their shape around and those quick hands have looked pretty slick this afternoon. Also their ball use, again, just using the ball, being smart, going forward. Short chiselling kick in from Cox, and then the long predictable ball into Peter Wright, who should have clunked it really. It's a second or third time he's got hands on the ball with a good run and leap at it. So his timing's a bit off as he goes in the ruck. Now up against Reece Stanley.
Martin's got 2, Langford's got 2.
At half back too.
Yeah. Ball back in play. Merritt had a look at it. He's just a bit too strong for Clark in there at the moment. Ball's built free. Dangerfield gets it from Stanley. Collett as he drives it inside forward 50. Cats forwards have got to get busy here. Over the top of it was Neal. Somehow spits its way out. Advantage paid. And this bloke is running hot, Max Holmes. And he puts it through. So, quick answer. This game's alive. 6-5-41 Essendon, 5-6-36 the Cats.
Big fella Neal, he won't be happy about that. He's trying to fight and scrap his way into this lineup. Just kicked a nice goal from the pocket. Free kick for holding on. It would have been his second. Holmes said, no way. I'm coming in. Easy finish for him again. Holmes. Yeah, he's had 5 inside 50s, 13 disposals, kicked a goal, and he's in the middle of the ground now. Most of his good work has been done off half back, but having a run in centre bounce here, and it's a goal as a midfielder.
Just looking at the replay, not going to pop the umpires too much, but it's just a free kick.
Not much in it.
No, there wasn't much in it. So they get the result they deserved one way or the other. The Cats back in the middle, lovely Clark, read the drop of the footy from Stanley beautifully, gets it again to Holmes. He's looking good, top of the square. Cameron, fly, Neal hits him in the face.
Falcon
had his hands all over it, but should have, but it went straight through the pair of them.
Gee, they're on the far side if they can switch the ball.
Setterfield short to Martin. He still looks that way. He comes inboard to Mackay to feel for the footy, got it to Setterfield. Now they go back to Ridley, back pocket. They do want to pull the trigger, don't they? They want to kick it short at all costs, it seems. In the end, he has to go down the line. Big pack fly. It was all Geelong in front. Ground level Perkins had a look at it. Merritt again, tumbles it forward. Gresham's got to be clean. He is cutting through his Menzies. Now the bounce has got to be important here for Guelphy. Had to feel for it. Lovely stuff from Guthrie. He gets the handball batted down. Clark gets the crumb back to Guthrie at centre half back. Now they're a chance.
Sharon not out Guelphy today.
No, it's not. Out wide to Close. He's cut down by Redmond, who played that beautifully. Just had his man in the footy exactly where he wanted them. Dersma fend off, back to Redmond, half back out of side. Played that like a man who knew what he was doing. Up towards half forward, big pack, lovely hands, Jones.
That's what you want to see from Harry Jones. Backing into the pack, taking a strong mark.
Quick ball to right. He drops another one, Coons.
Peter.
He's had 3 or 4 really good looks and he hasn't been able to complete any of them. Stewart goes in, gets the crumb.
Hands like feet.
Guthrie, handball on the way up to Holmes. Now they're a chance of coming out here. Buse, a bit of time and space to size it up. His kick was really bad. Gave Neal no chance. There were 2 bombers there. One of them was Redmond. He goes short to Duursma. Pokes it over the top. Hands in the back. No, said the umpire. It was Parrish who was helped under it by Holmes. Holmes can't break the tackle. Good enough to get the handball away. Myers on the up. Gets it to the run of Close. Tumbling ball. Mongrel looking kick. Gave Hawkins no look at it. Reid came hard at it. And takes it over the boundary line. It was a horrible kick by Brad Close.
The players are pretty keen for half-time, I think.
Feeling it?
After the last couple of minutes.
No, got a ways to go yet. It's only 19 minutes into this quarter, so 20 in time on as we'll get in the regular home and away season.
Huge one-on-one win, far side of the ground by Mason Redmond. It was going into 50 and possibly a goal if he didn't stop that. Great play.
Mackay, Hawkins, ever wary of the big cat in this part of the ground. Again, around the body, Duursma slung, throws on his boot, called. It was a clean gather, and then the kick went 4 metres directly out of bounds on the full. And it was not good. You won't want to see the highlights or the replay of that.
Just got to just sharpen up a little bit, Duursma. He's had just a few occasions where a bit slow in his movement, particularly in defence. When you're inside your defensive 50, everything has to be done max velocity. Just a little bit off the pace. That kick half tackled again from Duursma.
Max Holmes had to jump the fence to get the footy. He does so into the pocket. Big fist from Ben Mackay. How are you seeing his game so far?
Oh, I think he's kept Jeremy Cameron quiet, which he'd be happy to do as he strolls over now to take the ruck against Hawkins. So he's got the big boys down there, and they haven't lit it up yet. So he hasn't had a lot of footy. He hasn't intercept marked too many times, but laid the fist into that one.
Ball thrown in. Hawkins assumes front position. Bombers. Quick kick out of there from Setterfield. Up towards half-back. Langford comes all the way up the ground. Gets around in close quarters beautifully. Puts it out in front of Guelphy. But Stewart's going to mark that every single day of the week, and he does.
Tough time of it at the moment, Guelphy.
Yep. Quickly turns him around. Blitz halves. On the burst, Collar Jasny a long way from home. Driving footy right to the line. Neil can't mark off hands. Clatters into the post.
Yeah, they're the ones. 203 centimetres on the goal line. Clunk them and... Oi!
Play on's the call. It was going to be a free kick. Advantage taken on the kick in. Redmond's kick was poor, cut off by Clark. He's got a couple in quickly. One of them's Cameron. Too far out to score. You'd think he's going to wheel and go if he can find some space. That's going to be taken away by Martin. He pulls the kick to that dangerous spot, but it was all the Bombers. Hawkins had no chance.
Go.
And Ben McCauley sort of did go. The umpire didn't call him to go, so he did go after all of that and found Parrish. Gets it to Gresham. They ramble their way through the middle of Cardinia Park. Handball out towards Duursma. Nice gather. Gets it to Langford. They handball it up towards half forward. Gresham wants to go back the other way, but the fumble was costly. The footy off hands as Blitzarves closed him down, goes out of bounds in between wing and half forward, outer side of the ground. We'll have a ball in.
It's where they've looked good against Geelong is that quick transition. Again, Mackay did everything right, read the ball well off the boot, just a little bit quicker with that play on, and they could have got the ball up the middle. Fumbled by Gresham. It should have been an inside 50.
Stanley and Wright. Shallow throw in. Stanley got the better of it. It ends up with Holmes again. He's having a field day. Up towards half forward, the kick was poor. Tom Hawkins isn't having a field day. They can't find him at the moment. Mackay was there. Got it to Ridley. Goes up towards half forward. Big fist from Stanley. Brings it to ground. Stringer slaps it towards Parrish. He's wrapped up by Blitzarves. Good enough to get a handball away. To Stringer. They missed the bouncing footy. Duursma runs onto it. Gets it to Durham. Runs to 48. Pins the ears back, pulls the trigger right to the line, through from behind off hands. 6-6-42 Essendon, 5-7-37 the Cats. AFL Nation for McDonald's, the new McCrispy at Macca's. Stewart kick-in duties. Outer side of the ground, 2v2. All big blokes. Blitzarves handy at ground level for a man of that size, does well. It ends up with Dangerfield. Bit of time and space, Paddy. Hasn't had much of that so far. Ridley covered it beautifully at half-back. Very, very good player. Comes inboard to Setterfield. Up towards centre half forward. High, slow ball. Come at that. Market Gresham was the one who stayed at ground level. Did nicely. Around the body he goes. It's a beautiful kick over the top of the Geelong defence. Langford was moving quickly into space. And Gresham's kick was, thank you, Dennis, centimetre perfect.
We've seen on a number of occasions from half-back deep in defence that when Essendon transition quickly through the middle of the ground, that the Cats are really struggling to get themselves in a position to defend, and they're trying to scramble and get back. And it was a high kick to centre-half forward. Not a great kick from Setterfield, but gee, it was a huge win from Gresham. The little fella pushed Kolodjasny out of the action.
Langford for his third. He should put it through, and he does. So the Bombers get a little stretch of the margin here. 7-6-48. Geelong 5-7-37. They're finding all of the answers at the moment. Brad Scott's team. Langford has got 3.
Poor kick from Paddy Dangerfield going forward. Ridley had positioned himself really nicely, long down the line. Didn't have a lot of options, Paddy, but almost kicked it straight to that spare defender. And then the quick transition, short chip kick, which has been pretty crisp today at times from Essendon. That short little kick, 45 to the middle of the ground, which gets their ball movement going from there. And genuine push out in that one-on-one contest from Gresham. And around the body, he's had a few around the body slicing and dices.
He has.
Gresham today. A couple have worked out, a couple haven't, but that one was gorgeous to Langford.
Goldstein back in the middle. He's got Parrish and Merritt in there with Will Setterfield. I think we'll see a lot of that quartet in 2024 at centre bounces for the Bombers. Geelong prevail. Holmes again gets the handball on the way out to Atkins. Just drops it into the path of Dempsey, who came on the lead. Around the body, he goes into the pocket. Now Cameron finds himself. He got out the back of Cox, I think it might have been, who let him go. And they were caught napping then, the Bombers. And Cameron marks uncontested in clear space. And he'll go back and have the set shot from about 45 on about a 45-degree angle. Wrong side for the lefty. And it's across the face and through for another behind. 5-8-38. Geelong 7-6-48. The Bombers. This quarter for Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. AFL Nation for McDonald's and Numa Crispy at Macca's.
It's just a miscommunication, was it, between two defenders, Cox and Mackay? I think Cox was expecting a rollover, Mackay to take Cameron, who was leading up, but got their wires crossed and they both ended up standing their hands on hips.
Martin's low ball to Setterfield again was perfect, but his slow ball is turned over here at centre wing. Myers runs onto it. This is danger. Nice little bat down from Redmond, who's having another good day. Atkins into the path of Dempsey, around the body, over the top. Cameron Myers, Cameron right foot, just gently caresses it into the square. It was a beautiful kick. Stengel was taken front on, says the umpire, and we'll get the free kick. Mackay doesn't like it.
He was there for an eternity, Stengel, just waiting for someone to look up, see the goals and realise that he was perched top of the goal square all by himself, but no one looked. Jezza went around the right.
Around the body from the goal line, kicks his second. That's goal for goal stuff here. 6-8-44 Geelong, 7-6-48 the Bombers. Good game of footy, 27 minutes in to the second quarter.
Jezza went round the right without even looking. I think he's sniffing a snag after his set shot missed. He hasn't had his kicking boots on either, but free kick for a front-on contact. He had his eyes on the ball, Mackay, but any time you make contact and you're running back with the flight of the footy, it's an easy one for the umps. So free-flowing affair.
It is, good game. Yep. Holmes, Dangerfield, Guthrie, Kolodjasny on the bench for the Cats at the moment, having a rest. Ball back in the middle. Goldstein and Stanley go at it again. There's going to be some sort of blockage here as Goldstein ran into Stanley and prevented him getting to the footy, I think, is the interpretation that the umpires are going to go with there.
How are you supposed to pick a free kick out of that?
No, it's very technical stuff. It's sort of anti-ruck craft, a lot of those free kicks too.
What would make it a lot easier is if they just throw the ball up instead of bouncing it, because then it doesn't disadvantage one ruckman.
Cameron ran onto the loose footy, wheeled around. It was a big arc, and in the end he goes very short to centre half forward and finds Reece Stanley.
I don't like the umpires bouncing the ball. I just don't understand it. Never understood it. I don't know why they do it. Why would you bounce it just to give one ruckman the advantage over another if it's not a straight bounce?
Stanley from 52. It's a lovely looking drop punt. He just tugs it a bit to the left. Doesn't quite get there. Ball wasn't a friendly bounce. In fact, it did get there in the end and through from behind. Well, it's supposed to be the random nature of the oval footy, Coons. It's supposed to be once you throw the ball into the deck, the umpire, whatever happens from there happens. But
shouldn't you begin the game giving both teams an equal opportunity to win the ball?
Well, that's a modern interpretation. And if it is to be agreed upon as such, throw it up. Just throw it up. It takes away all the nonsense.
Imagine if an NBA ref, if there was a tip-off, just decided to just throw it towards one centre.
Oh, well, that would be all hell. Exactly. We've had a few NBA refs in trouble in the past for that sort of stuff, so there'd be all sorts of allegations.
This is true.
Ball inside forward 50 for the Bombers. No mark. It was Henry in the front of the pack. And the second quarter runs 30 minutes. It was a 7-point margin at quarter time. Essendon's way. It's a 3-point margin at half-time, Essendon's way. The Bombers 7-6-48. The Cats 6-9-45. Adam Cooney's got his expert eye over this one today. Give us your thoughts before we come back and whip our way through all the numbers, Coons.
It was pretty free-flowing, isn't it? I think Essendon have looked the sharper team, certainly on transition, and they've been harder around the footy, to be fair. Cats started to work their way back into it around the centre bounces in that back half of the second term. I think free-flowing. If the Cats had their kicking boots on it, they would be in front. But I think Essendon won the half on the scoreboard and won the half in our hearts.
Well, given what we saw from them a week ago at Moorabbin, this is a marked improvement from the Bombers. So I reckon they'll be alleviating a few little minor concerns that might have lingered in the minds of a couple of Essendon fans who ventured to St Kilda last week or watch it on the tally. They'll be much more satisfied with this performance and a whole lot more bullish about prospects halfway through this one. So we'll get a break out of the way, come back and dissect it all.
Scones today?
Oh, I don't know whether we'll get the full treatment at Geelong, given the fact that it's
not like
a community series game, but I'm happy to have one of us nick down and see what's on offer, just in case.
I'll do it.
Lovely. That'd be very nice of you. 7-6-48, the Bombers, they lead the Cats 6-9-45 at halftime. AFL Nation for McDonald's, the new McCrispy at Macca's.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
Melbourne, welcome on board. Turkish Airlines is launching flights from Melbourne to the rest of the world starting today. Visit turkishairlines.com and book your ticket now.
Good afternoon. There has been a breakdown inside the Burnley Tunnel this afternoon. The left-hand lane is currently closed there. There has also been a broken down truck on the Ring Road Greensboro bound before Sydney Road this afternoon. Dan Murphy's don't match, they beat prices. Like Bollinger, Special Cuvée NV, just $88. And Sunday, choose to drink wise, T's and C's apply. And here the Cats taking on the Bombers, followed by the Power and Dockers, straight after the cricket today on SEN.
The biggest EPL games live every Saturday and Sunday night, live right here on SEN.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery, excludes frozen soft drinks.
Whether you're a busy household looking for family-friendly options or love the feel and comfort of luxurious natural wool, or maybe it's a healthy choice asthma-friendly carpet, then Choices Flooring has the range, colours, textures and savings you've been looking for during our Carpet by Design sale event. Go online at choicesflooring.com.au and discover the carpet solution that's just right for you. With savings across the range, now is the time to visit your nearest Choices Flooring showroom.
Your ultimate driving machine awaits you at Essendon BMW. Explore the outstanding selection of in-stock vehicles ready for immediate delivery. With an on-site business manager and vehicle appraiser ready to assist you, Essendon BMW are dedicated to optimising your trade-in value and financial advantages. Conveniently situated in Essendon Fields, the dealership offers a seamless experience when exploring the range of vehicles. Begin your journey to sheer driving pleasure and visit Essendon BMW today. LMCT 11803.
The Apache helicopter. Not so great to take on holiday. But Apache caravans are built to handle just as much punishment, and they're rolling fortresses of comfort. ApacheCaravans.com.au. Apache caravans don't actually fly, but they will take you places.
So I hear you guys have started to build your new home.
Yeah, that's right.
But I thought you were waiting until interest rates came down.
Don't need to. Henley have a fund to pay $1,000 a month off our home loan for 2 years.
What? Wow, that's 24 grand off your mortgage payments.
Yeah, and it includes all new builds. Wait a minute, where are you going?
To get AAMI and visit Henley.
Henley's Mortgage Fund. $1,000 a month off your home loan for 2 years. All backed by Henley's $7 billion parent, Sumitomo Forestry Group.
I went to the shops and I bought bread. Plain, white bread. But even the boringest purchases can lead to the awesomest rewards when you use the Kogan Money credit card. Pay no annual fee. Earn points to spend at Kogan.com. Plus, get free Kogan First membership for free shipping and rewards. Search Kogan Money credit card. Kogan.com. Clickin' awesome. T's and C's, other fees and charges apply. Credit provider, National Australia Bank Limited.
I got a mower and a blower that were out on loan, but it's been 6 months and my lawns are overgrown. He said 2 days and I'll have it back, but now I want my Makita back. You better connect, you better get prune, you better bring it back pretty bloody soon. Oh, it's nice at first, but this is just slack. All I want is my Makita back. I want my Makita back. I want my Makita back. I want my Makita back.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
Way then the other. Gets a handball out to Langford to Durham. Chance for Caldwell around the body. Goal. So Martin kicks his second. And again, a quick chain of handballs from the Bombers. Over the top of it was Neil. Somehow spits its way out. Advantage pay. And this bloke is running hot, Max Holmes. Quick answer. So they're the highlights from the opening half that sees Essendon 7-6-48 lead the Cats 6-9-45. Langford with 3, Martin with 2, the leading goal kicker. Stengel with 2 for the Cats. It is the halftime floor show for Choices Flooring. Discover your style with Carpets by Design.
The Choices Flooring halftime floor show. Design, visualise and create your perfect floor with Room View.
Choices Flooring sale is now on, so it has been a free-flowing, rollicking game of footy. This it's probably going at about 80% intensity. You reckon? It's not certainly flat out. These teams have got bigger fish to fry, obviously, next week and beyond. So they're all pretty controlled, but Adam Cooney's been casting an expert eye over it all. It's been played at a pretty good intensity, all things taken into account, Coons.
Certainly a step up from last week as we watch Peter Wright running some laps around the boundary. So he's either done for the afternoon, or Brad Scott's not happy with his output in the first half and he sent him out to do laps.
Well, we'll wait and see whether he does come out after half time.
Not a chance.
No, not if he's doing this. I'm surprised by that.
He's got the runners on.
Well, I'm really surprised by that because he's got himself to about 4 or 5 marking contests so far and hasn't been able to clunk any of them. No. I would have thought that
touch has been off.
But wouldn't you like him to get 1 or 2 before this one's done?
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, you're right. He's had 3 genuine attempts inside 50 to mark the ball. two launching at the footy, and it's gone straight through the hands, and one really nice body work and just dropped it.
So tell me what's going on here, Coons. He's the only Essendon player, even the guys that didn't play in the first half and will get injected into the second half, you would think. Nick Bryan, Nick Hind.
You don't say that about Essendon.
Well, what's going on? I beg your pardon. No pun intended at all. What's going on with Pete? Why is he the only one out here running laps at the moment?
Well, it's obviously pre-planned coming in. That they have monitored his loads in terms of how far he has run over the last month, maybe, month to 3 weeks, how much he's played in the last couple of weeks, and they're obviously satisfied with the amount of work that he's done and that he's put in. So he's walking at the moment, high-fiving the crowd. So has he done one lap?
One, I reckon. Yeah, he's just completed one.
He's going again here. So he's just topping up some aerobic stuff.
Back in the old days,
he looked like a man in the first quarter that knew he was only playing a half, because he was zipping up.
Yeah, okay, right.
He's getting up to help out and then rushing back inside 50. So a clear plan in place, which gives the opportunity for another tall forward to be able to stamp themselves on this contest in the second half.
So what have you made of them? They were a worry. Geelong obviously had a good win last week against the Blues. A very sort of half-hearted, haphazard game of footy, to be honest. A lot of chopping and changing and, sort of drill type stuff being put into place. But they came in here, feeling pretty good about themselves. Essendon was the one coming in here with a few question marks hanging over itself from last week's outing. What have you made of the Bombers so far today?
Oh, nothing concerning so far. I mean, it's all been really positive. They're winning plenty of the footy. They're +5 in clearances, +2 centre clearances, contested possession. They're up, so they're winning around the footy and being harder inside. They've been absolutely dominant with +62 on the outside as well, which is where we thought that they would have the edge over a side like Geelong. I mean, these are wily old cats. They position themselves very well and quite often go back to defend deep inside defensive 50, get extra numbers back, and then they go from there. They're pretty hard to score against the Cats at times, and they've looked good on that transition on the outside. So Parrish has had a mountain of the footy. Zach Merritt has been really smooth in his use. Parrish has been a clearance king as well. McGrath off half-back. Martin's kicked 2 goals from half-back. And the forwards, the pressure that they've put on inside 50. Jake Stringer with 3 tackles inside forward 50. Harrison Jones getting involved in that aspect of the game as well. Gresham, and they're just smaller types, which is their role primarily, to get up the ground, help out, and then when it is in your forward 50, if you're not getting the ball, to lock it in there. So it's been a really positive half from an Essendon perspective, and Geelong have had their opportunities as well. I think that Essendon have looked the better side moving the footy and at times setting up the ground. So there's a bit to work on from a Geelong perspective, but I mean, they're not playing well. They've had opportunities. Jeremy Cameron's missed a couple. Close hasn't been close with his shots at goal, and they find themselves only 3 points down, not playing very well. So that's a positive for the Cats. But I've loved the game of Max Holmes. He's been huge. Started at half-back, easily been the best player, if not on the ground, certainly for Geelong. He's had 5 inside 50s, possibly 6 inside 50s. He's kicked a goal as a midfielder. They started him at half-back in the first quarter, and they want to get the ball into his hands. He's the guy that breaks the lines. He's the guy that they want to get the ball in his hands as that quarterback style who can also run and gun. He takes the game on, and he's quick. He's got lightning speed. We spoke about him pre-game, actually, and mentioned that Chris Scott said that at some point in the not-too-distant future he will be the best player in the game, which is a fair rap. And he's looked $1 million in that first half. So can he continue? Is he a half-back? Do they want to play him there, or do they want to unleash him in the midfield and see what he can do? A little bit of both, possibly, but I'd like to see him make his home in that midfield.
Well, yeah, he gives them a dimension that they don't have a lot of. 19 disposals, 579 metres gained, and every time he's got it, he's cruised away from the opposition. So they're going to need a bit of that. I mean, those numbers that you read before, they're the worry, aren't they? The uncontested possessions and all the stoppage numbers. That's the area where teams are going to think they can get Geelong.
Or plus 62 on the outside.
Yeah.
It's a damning stat.
It is. Clearances 20 to 15, centre clearances Essendon's way, stoppage clearances Essendon's way, hit-outs Essendon's way. This is the area that teams are going to look at Geelong and go, okay, well, they've got season performance at either end of the ground, but if we just... volume of footy is going to tell a story sooner or later against them, and those numbers that you've mentioned, that just highlights that one area of concern that we've got about Geelong, and that is through the arcs and around the middle of the ground. Are they going to be able to go with these teams now that are playing, a really up-tempo, high-intensity brand of running footy? It seems to be the way teams want to go nowadays, and I don't know whether Geelong's built to play that sort of footy.
No, I'm not sure they are. I mean, they've played some more positive attacking footy in the last couple of seasons, one resulting in a premiership where they've tweaked a couple of things. But then, they're ageing. We understand that. But I've liked the game of Jai Clark as well. I think he's done some really slick stuff, really smooth centre clearance. He's taken a good mark and done some good things. Dempsey as well, some good hops. And,
the kids, right?
He looked creative.
Neil's looked okay.
You want to see more of them.
Yep.
I want to see more. They are the future of this footy club going forward. They have to. They've balanced it so well over the past few seasons and got flags out of it. Now, when they're in, I think we can agree that they're in a semi-transition period. They need to get games into some of these kids. I know free agents walk in the door and they trade really well, but let's get the kids some games.
Bombers by 3 points at halftime. It is the halftime floor show for Choices Flooring. We're down here at Kardinia Park. AFL Nation for McDonald's.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
Good evening. There are delays inside the Burnley Tunnel this afternoon due to a breakdown, as well as a breakdown over on the Calder Freeway outbound at Green Gully Road. The left-hand lane is closed there. MSC's cruise sale is making waves at Flight Centre. Cruise the Mediterranean with MSC from just $149 a day. Don't let the ship sail without you. Book now. And here the Cats taking on the Bombers, followed by the Power and Dockers, straight after the cricket today on SEN.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
Looking for something more than toast and cereal? How does a buffet brekkie sound? With a smorgasbord of New Zealand racing, satisfy your racing hunger now at loveracing.nz. Fields, form, tips, news, replays, profiles, and much more. Everything you need to find your next Kiwi winner. It's the perfect way to start your day. Have breakfast with the Kiwis. Loveracing.nz. Your home of New Zealand thoroughbred racing.
Power through your garden maintenance with Toro's time-saving zero-turn mowers. And get even mow efficiency with our clean and quiet battery walk power mowers and handheld tools with interchangeable 60-volt batteries. Run into your local Toro dealer today.
So I hear you guys have started to build your new home.
Yeah, that's right.
But I thought you were waiting until interest rates came down.
Don't need to. Henley have a fund to pay $1,000 a month off our home loan for 2 years.
What? Wow, that's 24 grand off your mortgage payments.
Yeah, and it includes all new builds. Wait a minute, where are you going?
To get Amy and visit Henley.
Henley's Mortgage Fund. $1,000 a month off your home loan for 2 years. All backed by Henley's $7 billion parent, Sumitomo Forestry Group.
It's time to make it Mazda with a 2023 plate clearance bonus. Stock is available now for immediate delivery with great offers across the range. Whether you're into the adventurous CX-5, the agile CX-3, the stylish CX-30 or the spacious CX-8, there's never been a better time to make it Mazda. Get into your brand new Mazda with a 2023 plate clearance bonus. Visit your local dealer and make it yours today. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. See mazda.com.au for details.
Experience the excitement of Melbourne's newest sporting team, Melbourne Mavericks.
And tickets are now available for Mavericks versus the Vixens at John Cain Arena Sunday, April 14.
Be a Maverick. Strong, fearless, a trailblazer. Tickets available at melbournemavericks.com.
Bailey Nelson is shaking up the way Australians get their glasses. So if you're on the hunt to find the perfect pair of multifocals, we're the ones to see.
to help you see. And for a limited time, get free multifocal lenses with one pair from our everyday range. Hey, there's a reason we've got over 10,000 five-star reviews. So come and see, literally, what all the fuss is about. Book a bulk build eye exam today at baileynelson.com.au. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
Hi, Gary Lyon here. Good mornings. Start with Tempur. Tempur's range of mattresses and adjustable bases adapt to the exact shape of your body so you can put your head and feet up in comfort. Also, if you're like me and have ongoing back concerns, Tempur mattresses assist in alleviating your pain. Find your perfect position with an easy-to-use wireless remote and massage function available at the touch of a button. Experience the Tempur range today. You can view Tempur athlete stories at tempur.com.au. Tempur, a mattress like no other.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
Peter Wright's done enough, as read by Adam Cooney. A couple of laps at halftime with the runners on. He's done and dusted. So, interesting. He won't take the greatest amount of form in and confidence. I wouldn't have thought. He presented a few times and looked likely to clutch a couple, but his day's done. We'll keep an eye on the various lineups and see who else is going to get a crack in the second half.
Well, it looks like he's been replaced. So like for like, Peter Wright out, Nick Hind in for the Bombers for the forward line. So
like for like.
That was just a bit of
it was good. It was nice. So Jones looks, Jones is going to take the position that Wright occupied in the start of the game. So Langford operating out of the square, and Jones is going to be that player just in front of him that was right early.
Good opportunity now for Jones.
He's looked all right, I reckon, today.
He's the big boy down now. Now he's the big dog. So he's got De Koning as an opponent. Can he have a good half of footy leading into round one?
Let's see who really wants to finish this one off. The Geelong faithful are down here. The Joel Selwood stands been given a look at from the locals. Are they going to want to finish here with a clean sheet in the pre-season? Well, the Bombers going to try and get a win on the board. We're underway and we'll see how this one plays out. Blitzarves gets it to Stanley to Dangerfield. He's got Durham with him, made him stretch. Holmes has had plenty. Beautiful threading handball through to Duncan. Now they're in a bit of time and space out of side of the ground. O'Sheen Mullen gets his first look at it. He's come into the game for the Cats. Bruin starting at half forward. Gets it on the up to Duncan. Pokes it in towards Cameron at centre half forward. And they owned the footy. He wore one in the hip there, Jeremy Cameron from Zach Reed, but takes the mark at 50.
Holmes again. Dangerfield, who's been quite in the first half, involved there. Big centre bounce win and then followed it up again.
Had to stretch the hammies a bit, did Paddy, with Durham hot on his hammer. Did it well. So Cameron will kick from 54 directly in front. He's as good a kicker the Sharon as there is in the Cape, but when he gets going, he's not got all of that. Probably into the breeze marginally, and off hands goes through for a behind. First score of the third quarter. Cats a minus 6-10-46. The Bombers 7-6-48.
4 behinds for the afternoon, Jeremy Cameron.
Okay. So Bombers get some run into it. Dursma, what do you make of him? Takes a very good mark, one-on-one v Tui.
That's a great grab with a player bearing down on him. He's been scrappy.
Yeah.
Been scrappy with ball in hand.
Couple of turnovers, but he's been in the game, hasn't he? He's been around the footy.
Take a while to settle in.
Ridley.
Just wonder where he's going to, which position he's going to lock down for Essendon. Will he get a starting spot on the wing? He'd have to put in a good performance in this second half.
So Reid, Martin share it as the Bombers came back across the face of goal, and Reid goes short to McGrath. He pokes it into space at half back to Parrish, who continues to get hands on footy short to Hind. He can get and go. That's a lovely kick out the back to, well, it wasn't actually. It looked okay off the boot, but then it drifted on Hind and got away from Langford, out of bounds on the full.
And it should have hit Langford on the chest, and they should have gone inside 50. And the ease in which they were able to transition the ball. I know it's a practice game, but that would be a concern for the coach of the Cats.
Henry, long and strong down the line. He gets the crumb over the top to Dempsey. Half volley was clean, but the handball wasn't the measure of it. Martin intercepts, gets it to McGrath, wheels through traffic, comes out the back to Merritt. He does likewise, wants somebody to give it to. There's no one there. Then the kick is brilliant to Parrish. Now Hiney's that's a better looking kick to Gresham out the back, who takes the mark. And they continue to punch holes in this Geelong setup, the Bombers.
Again, just easy. Not a lot of pressure around Zach Merritt. It looked like 3 Geelong players were starting to close in on Merritt, but then Parrish just ducked out the back. No one was watching those players, those midfielders getting goal side. Big space in the middle of the ground. Easy kick for Merritt, who's as classy as they come. And from there, Gresham was all inside 50 by himself.
35 out, slide angle. Oh, that's an awful kick. That is a shocker. Scrapes through for a behind. 7-7, 6-10. Early stages, third quarter.
Duffed the pitching wedge there.
Stewart short to Koning. He gave it to Henry under pressure. Menzies cuts it off. Gives it to Langford. Thought about the handball. Got to get rid of it now. De Koning cuts him off. Nice body work from Cox. Kept the footy free. Out the back to Parrish. Felt for it. Now gets it. Stringer threads it back through to Parrish. Needs a bounce. Gets it. Now wrapped up by Clark holding the footy.
Just got to kick the ball under pressure. Tried to be too cute. Underground handballs. Passing off to a teammate in trouble. Under pressure, just kick that in. Get it inside 50. Give your forwards a chance.
Jai Clark, short inside defensive 50 was a poor kick. Put De Koning under pressure, but he had Holmes sitting on his own and finds him with ease.
He looks like a young James Kelly, doesn't he, Max?
He does. Yeah, same number and colour and shape. A bit quicker than James Kelly.
Oh, you won't like that.
No, but it's true. Fine play for this footy club for a long time was old Pops.
Coaching now at the Cats.
Cameron short to Duncan. Gets on his left in the end. Just pops it into the air, and standing underneath it was Reid, who takes a nice mark.
That's what you want to see. A big fella standing in the hole, keeping his eye on the footy and distributing just.
Cox was in the middle of 3 Cats and the kick had to be perfect. It was. He gets it to Parrish. Down the line looking for Jones, but Stewart just had his man under control. Knew where the footy was. Latched onto it. Finds Holmes in the corridor. Gives it to Duncan cruising by. Bruin's got to be quick with the handball. Is to Cameron. Cruising by further is Duncan. Handball on the bounce now to Stanley. Runs to centre forward under pressure. Kick was affected. And ineffective. Martin now, look at this. Gresham's in acres of space. He gets it out of side of the ground. Has a go. Cuts inboard around Mullen. Gets a handball to Menzies cruising by. Puts it into the air. That's asking a lot of Langford. Ball comes to ground. Stewart did well. Henry, that's feed through that footy.
And holding on.
Absolutely tossed it away. Ball spilt free. Finds its way to Gresham. Kicks the goal. I don't know why Henry's arguing the point here. There could have been a couple of free kicks paid against the Cats in the end. Gresham seized on the spilt footy and popped it through. 8-7-55. Geelong 6-10-46.
Great pressure through the middle of the ground. There was a Geelong handball chain where Bombers players just kept coming at them, frontal pressure. Eventually they got the ball out and it was Reece Stanley on the end of it. Pressure on his kick and the turnover from there. The issue when you have Holmes and also Duncan running off half back is if you turn the ball over when they're so high up the ground, having been involved in the play like Jade Gresham, who's smart, sees the turnover, push wide. There was no player within 70 metres of Gresham. They were set up. They had one spare behind the ball, but he just held on to it long enough, waited for support. Terrific one-on-one again from Kyle Langford. And they get a goal because of it. So very attacking off half back, but you can get done the other way. And they did on that occasion.
Geelong players may have been wondering why the advantage. They did appear to stop on the whistle, but the umpire let Gresham carry on. It is. Blitzarves from the restart. Lovely hairball to Dangerfield. Cuts around. Gets the hairball to Myers. Had to feel for it. Then just toe poked it into space. Chance for the Bombers. Deep in defence. McGrath. They share it with one another. Zardis is on the ground across the face of goal. They go driving footy out of defence only as far as Stanley, who marks at the arc of 50. Goes short towards Stengel. Can't mark. Fisk. Ground level. Dangerfield just barrels his way straight through the line of the footy and then misses with the snap across the face through for a behind. Classic Paddy Dangerfield, 6:11.47, 8:7.55.
Bit sore after that one too. Is Will Setterfield holding the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate position to be when P. Dangerfield is running through the line of the ball at speed like that.
Laverde into the action. Back pocket. Takes some other kicks really bad.
He's had 2 kicks and both of them have gone to Reece Stanley.
Stanley, again, looks for Neil, but they're just kicking it pretty aimlessly at the moment. Reed's done a couple of nice things. Redmond receives the handball. James Sardis takes the mark in the number 5 at half-back. Expecting him to take some steps forward this year. The kick had too much on it for Perkins, who had to stop and wait and watch as Guthrie came at it. Perkins good enough with the follow-up tackle. With the ball up in front of the interchange gates, member side of the ground. 8 minutes gone, third quarter. Swinging arm at that one from Goldstein. No one can really take clean possession until Atkins runs onto it. Around the body left side, Sardis should mark. Oh, he drops what he should have taken. Gives Dangerfield a chance. Pokes it into the corridor. Cameron marks. He wheel and go. He pulled the kick. In fact, it might have been batted down in the end by Hind, who read the kick beautifully. On the up, gets it to Caldwell. Out the back to Laverde. Can he hit a target this time? Yes, he can. Langford. Outer side of the ground, wing position. Caldwell runs to receive. Gets to half forward. Decides not to go. Didn't have anyone coming at him. Has to wait now. Into the pocket. Stringer. Lovely kick. Stringer just kept sneaking into space and Caldwell good enough to find him. He marks 45 away from goal. A step or two in from the boundary line. Hard up against the fence he is now.
Again, once that ball hits the deck and on the turnover, they look vulnerable through that middle of the ground once it goes back the other way.
Low driller in towards Hind. They had that one covered on this occasion. They got numbers at ground level. Tui under pressure. Guthrie under pressure, gets it through to DeConey. Has to cut around the would-be tackler. He did nicely then. Guthrie brings it out of defensive 50 and then kicks it out of bounds on the full. Looking for the smallest man amongst 3 or 4, Myers. They turn it around quickly. Dersman gets on the end of it. That's a shocking kick.
Just a rush kick. Didn't even look. Just booted it as far as he could.
And Cameron drifts down onto the last line for the Cats.
They do like to sit back in defence, Geelong. I've seen it on a few occasions. They've been burnt, just sort of standing there trying to guard that space on the last line. And Essendon have worked up and got the ball through and kicked goals.
Tui's kick. He waited for Dangerfield to present. Find him.
Dangerfield lifting.
Around the body, up towards half forward. Hawkins has been quiet. Can he get into the game? Brings it to ground level. Chance for the crumb as Atkins hits it hard. But the tackling from the Bombers has been good. They're not breaking Essendon tackles today. They can't bring it out of defensive 50. Turnover here, a chance. Myers ducks around one way, then the other. On his left foot, into the pocket. He had Dempsey on his own. He couldn't get it there. He's on the wrong side. Sardis on the last line, short to Goldstein. Ben Mackay in a bit of trouble behind the footy here.
He's holding a knee, but getting up.
Okay.
Just a stinger.
Righto. That's a breather's sigh of relief for Essendon supporters right there. Down the line they go. Jones makes it a contest, brings the ball to ground, threads the handball through. Got to be a free kick to Nick Hind, taken head on. Footy over the ball. Gives it to Parrish. Back to Hind in close quarters. Lovely little step. Sold the dummy to Dangerfield. Did it beautifully. The kick was poor. Stewart doesn't mark. It was the half volley. Wrapped up. Not getting rid of it. Umpire, what are you going to say? I'll ball it up.
Did he kind of do a warm-up before he came out here to play?
He did a couple of little run-throughs at a little bit of skill work at half-time.
Still looks a bit cool. Nice step on Dangerfield, though.
Sardis has got his hands on it early in this last quarter. Stewart goes back with the footy. Could have been in all sorts of trouble. Jones came hard at him. Hind gets the crumb. The kick, he should have kicked the goal. Yep. He ran to 25 and tried to find Langford at the top of the square.
Dealing.
Just bang it through from there, Nick.
Could have had a bounce and run into 15 metres as well. Caught in 2 mines and both mines weren't working.
No. There was one good decision and there are about 4 bad ones, and he chose one of the 4 bad ones. Ball goes out of bounds as Geelong clear their defensive 50.
Hard to come out at half-time. And sitting there watching, everyone's in their groove already, and you've got to try and catch up to the intensity straight away.
Adam Cooney with the expert comments.
Just comments so far.
No, you're in good form.
Pre-season.
For a man who hasn't seen a minute of footy up until this one here today, you are very sharp.
Too busy coaching me boys down at TGC.
How are they going?
Flying. Absolutely flying.
What age group are we looking at?
First 18 footy.
Oh, nice. Clark can't take it out of there. TGC, what's that?
The Geelong College.
Oh, thank you.
We look after them all, though. Year 9's been to training a little bit. It's the Year 10's down there, so good mix so far in pre-season.
Bombers tumble it forward from the restart. De Koning jarring tackle, ball spilt free. De Koning, Blitzarves forced it forward. Clark just a hopeful handball into space. Give Cameron a chance at it. Atkins runs to support. He picks it up, gets it to De Koning, but he had too much on it again for Myers, who can't get into the game today. And Cox fills the hole, goes very short to Setterfield, likewise very short to Mackay.
This is where they have looked good, though.
Yeah,
off
true.
Half back, just so there's a few little chipping balls, and they've looked really strong the way they've moved the ball from defence.
Mackay finds Sardis. He finds his man further afield.
Again, they're at half forward.
Perkins wheels to go. 2v1 here. Big chance. Bombers can't take the mark. Jones. Out the back was Langford waiting for the crumb. Didn't come his way. Stringer gathers it at ground level. Thought he had someone out the corner. It was Goldstein. Tried to get it there. Goldstein fought hard to bring it to ground. That he did. Creates the contest. Atkins had to be good. Cats have got numbers. Mullen handballs into a space. Atkins needs the bounce. Went to ground. Good stuff from Langford. Gets it to Merritt. Big ball win, comes in towards the corridor, and Durham marks a true centre half forward.
Again, easy transition. Chipping their way through, up to half forward. Perkins blasting in there. That a 2-on-1 inside 50. Stewart did really well. The kick in from Stringer. Again, Langford, his body work on the ground on that occasion, just monstered the Geelong defender off the footy and won it back.
So Durham will need to kick it 55. Set shot. He hasn't got it nearly far enough. The ball doesn't get to the line. Stanley. Sit out the back. Stewart wanted a bit more time and space than was there. He just gave it to Tui when he was under pressure, and he's taken with ball in hand over the boundary line, hard up against the behind post.
Love to see forward pressure from an Essendon number 17.
He's been good.
Seen that for a while.
That's Todd Goldstein, for those that don't know what number he's wearing. Again, works the front, Stringer the crumb, throws a left foot at it, across the face of goal, further away in the end from where he was when he kicked it. Out of bounds the ball goes. They'll have to throw in about 35 out from the Bombers' goal, but they're pennying in here. They're working hard. Goldstein's been instrumental in a lot of their good stuff today. Up in front he is again. Grand level Menzies had a look at it. Goldstein fired up, boundary line. He's going to beat them all. We'll have another throw in. Nick Cox has got the job down here on Jeremy Cameron Coons at the start of this second half.
He's played on him for a reasonable amount of minutes tonight. Same, he's taller than Jeremy Cameron, Nick Cox.
Trying to find a spot for him, aren't they? Blitzarves. Guthrie under pressure, gets it away. Bruin under pressure. Hines willing, takes him in the footy to ground. The umpire lets them play until they can play no more.
It's a position I would be nervous about as a Bomber supporter. Nick Cox playing a key defensive post. I mean, he's still skinny. Jeremy Cameron is really athletic.
You hear the hoots of the crowd for another ruck infringement. Free kick this time to Goldstein. Comes inboard, edge of the square to Perkins.
Was it an obvious one?
No.
Has there been an obvious one that they've paid this afternoon?
No. Now, there is an obvious one down here, according to the umpire. It's high contact against one of the Bombers. It might have been Jones on De Koning, and it's where the ball was. So Perkins gives the footy up, and they can scramble it forward here. The Cats, everybody flooding back. Bruin slow. They were all running away from him in the end. He has to go long and strong with a drop punt up towards half forward. Dangerfield thought about the fly. The ball never got there. Redmond's been terrific. Out the back he goes. Knew what he had to do and did it to Ridley, who's the epitome of composure down there. Redmond comes inboard to Laverde. There's a couple of little shaky moments early in this quarter. Driving footy out of the side. Ball hits the deck. Caldwell first one onto it. Looping handball back to Martin. Threads the handball through to Setterfield. Just a little fumble. Couldn't go as quickly as he would have liked as a result, but cut back through the traffic and finds Langford. Half back. Back to Ridley. They look to switch. They've got the options if they want. Reid was the deepest player out the back. They go down the line instead.
See, they've just allowed this all night, this uncontested marking chain from half back, and it's working really well for the Bombers. 83 marks to 50.
Ridley to Setterfield to Sardis, wing position, out of side. Held up towards half forward. Durham up in front. They all sagged off him. The kick drops short. Gets the handball off to Hind quickly. Hind cuts inboard. Another driving footy, and it's a very good mark from Darcy Parish, who had to dive at the footy. And he gloved it beautifully.
What's been alarming this afternoon is the lack of pressure through the arcs from a Geelong perspective, from the midfield. And it's like they are happy to sit back or fold back defensively and not press up and put that frontal pressure on, which is the best teams get up in your face and make it hard to get through there.
As for the equal biggest margin of the game, from 40 metres out, it's a beautiful kick. And he's having an outstanding evening, is Darcy Parish. 18 minutes into the third quarter, the Bombers have kicked the 2 goals of the term. And it's a 14-point margin, 9-7-61. Geelong 6-11-47. Those uncontested possession numbers, Coons, that you mentioned, 62 the diff at halftime. What are they looking like now?
Well, it's 78 the difference now. 270. It's 81 now. This is the difference in uncontested possessions. And Marks is plus 40 for the Bombers. And that's what it's looked like.
Yeah, it does.
It's just been really easy for Essendon to move the ball from defence to attack. And there's been no sort of pressure. There's team defence we talk about a lot now, and teams pressing up and defenders getting up high and clogging the middle of the ground. It's really been minimal from Geelong.
Parish up to 26, leading ball winner on the ground. All in the middle at the restart. Stanley cleaves it out of there to Bruin, to Clark, who's done some nice things. Drives it inside forward 50. Hawkins really wanted to win that contest on Reid. Got the big bum in front of the young Essendon defender. Held front spot and takes the mark nicely.
It's what's going to hold them in good stead this year. Just having Cameron and Hawkins in their forward line.
Henry,
And it might hurt the Bombers with Cox and Reid in key defensive posts.
Yeah, Mackay's going to hold his own, isn't he? But I just feel like there might be one key defender. Laverde has to play so often undersized, and Hawkins from as good as directly in front, kick from about 47. He started it out to the right and misses. So uncharacteristic down here for Tom. 6-12-48. Essendon 9-7-61. AFL Nation for McDonald's. The new McCrispy at Macca's.
Well, I think in the short term, as Cox marks this, it'll really hurt Essendon having lost Brendan Zerk-Thatcher, who was much maligned, and Essendon supporters were frustrated with him early on. I think there was an appreciation of what he was able to do, holding down the key defensive post last year with not a lot of support.
Bowes up in front, intercepts the outlet kick over the top to Myers, who's found it hard to find space in these dangerous territories today, but he did on that occasion.
And I think it would have helped. Certainly helped Zerk-Thatcher's game a lot if he was able or willing to stay with Mackay coming to the club. He goes to Port Adelaide to fill a second or third key defensive post. He would have had the same opportunity here with Mackay coming in, and it's left them a bit thin, Essendon.
So Myers in that familiar fashion hits the post. 6-13 Geelong at 9-7 the Bombers. Tyre Power bringing you all the action this quarter. Your trusted tyre experts, Aussie owned Tyre Power.
Missed kick from Mason Redmond. His first missed kick for the night. He's been
good,
poised with ball in hand, and now he goes back as the deepest defender on Paddy Dangerfield. So hopefully it doesn't come in quickly for him.
So there's the first look at Brian, who was in that boundary throwing contest. Young ruckman there developing, but clearly playing second fiddle tonight to Todd Goldstein. And you're picking a team for round one, Coons. I think you're going with Todd Goldstein, aren't you?
Goldie's in.
Depending on how Draper pulls up today, but he's probably going to be needing the run. And Reid, as the ball comes deep inside the Geelong forward 50 again, takes another good mark in the one-on-one v Hawkins. So he's done a couple of nice things, Zach Reid.
Yeah, he just got around Hawkins, who felt for the body. He just kept his eye on the ball and ducked around.
Goldstein flies with the co-ruckman Bryan. Now they're out again here. The sweeping handball. Parrish gets it to Goldstein. They all sag off him. He's wrapped up. He didn't count on Clark. Coming from his blind side. Clark quickly gets it to Guthrie. Pokes it down the line to Blitzards. Marks in between half forward and wing. Sweeping handball to Duncan. Duncan goes low into the pocket to Hawkins, who marks just inside the line.
His first move was terrific.
He goes short, and the lead was offered and respected. And it's Sean Manor. We get a look at him for the first time today.
Todd Goldstein stepped around one, then two, then just overthought about what to do with the ball, and his blind side got him tackled, turnover, costly. They looked like they were away, Essendon. Geelong did well to scramble.
He was a good goal kicker in the level below this fella. What an opportunity for him. He comes in, starts it out to the right, and it stays there. They've had a bad day in front of goal, the Cats, 6-14-50. Essendon 9-7-61. AFL Nation. For McDonald's, the new McCrispy at Macca's. Martin's going to do a lot of this year. Kick it out from fullback, but not on that occasion the way he wanted it to work. He kicks it out of bounds on the full. Manor again. 2 kicks from home. Puts it to about 25 out. Dangerfield had one bite, couldn't complete it with the second. Setterfield tumbles it out of there. It flips over the top of Menzie. Buse was first to respond to the loose foot. He goes back in, gets it, can't break the tackle. Fendoff was high, or the tackle was high. The umpire said play on. Manor gets the loose footy. Handballs into the path of Tanner Bruin. He can't get the bounce he needed. Martin can't take it. Dangerfield tries to crash through. Gets it to Holmes. Goes one way, then the other. Always had a man on his outer. That was Blitzards around the body, top of the square. Zardes can't mark. Ground level. Goes in over the top. Could have been taken high. Stengel around the body. Stengel hits the post. So they're pressing here. They just can't find that goal. 6-15-51, 9-7-61.
Yeah, they're having some trouble getting out of defence. It's lived in their forward half for a couple of minutes, which allows Geelong to set the ground up and get forward and lock it in there a bit better than what they have for most of the night.
So McGrath has a bounce and just thumps it as far away as he can, but again the Cats have got good representation out the back. Buse gets it to Mullen, sweeping handball on the up to Kolajasny, drives it inside forward 50. Laverde in front, takes the mark. Hawkins is going to give away 50 if he's not careful.
It should have been 50.
Yep.
Hawkins knew that was a mark, dragged him to the ground after.
Laverde short to Redmond, outer side of the ground, arc of defensive 50. And the Bombers, in a low-scoring term, owned it with the 2 goals of the quarter. Geelong peppered away, but were unable to find a major. And at 3-quarter time, with a bit of the zest going out of this one, it's an arm wrestle now. Essendon lead 9-7-61. The Cats 6-15-51. Adam Cooney, any thoughts quickly?
Well, again, I'm concerned. And it happened, and it's been continuous for most of the evening, the ease in which Essendon are able to move the ball. They were really strong in the contested part of the game and clearances in the first quarter. And for the first 3, it's been an avalanche of uncontested footy that has gone Essendon's way, and uncontested marks too. So they started to alleviate that in the last 5 minutes or so of that quarter when the ball lived in Geelong's forward half. So defenders were able to actually press up and hold that aggressive position and lock it in their forward half. But minor concern at this stage of the year that the ease in which Essendon are able to move the ball.
10-point margin at 3-quarter time. Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. Aussie-owned tyre experts at Tyre Power. AFL Nation. For McDonald's, the new McCrispy. Tried today at Macca's.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
breakdown causing outbound delays on the Calder Freeway just before Green Gully Road. The left-hand lane blocked off, very slow on the approach. Elsewhere, reports of a crash on the Princes Freeway outbound before Colorado Creek Road. Delays pushing back up onto the Ring Road and the Westgate as well. And the Monash still struggling outbound at the South Gippsland Freeway. Wouldn't you rather be driving the number one selling vehicle in Australia, Ford Ranger? Discover all the reasons why the Ranger is Australia's favourite, only at your local Ford dealer. And the Cats take on the Bombers, followed by Power and Dockers straight after the cricket today on SEN.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
A Skoda doesn't count kilometres, it measures experiences. For the best experience, head to Peninsula Skoda, Melbourne's largest Skoda dealership. With over 150 pre-owned vehicles also on site, discover your next drive at the ultimate test drive location, Peninsula Skoda. LMCT 12366.
Whether you're a busy household looking for family-friendly options or love the feel and comfort of luxurious natural wool, or maybe it's a healthy choice asthma-friendly carpet, then Choices Flooring has the range, colours, textures and savings you've been looking for during our Carpet by Design sale event. Go online at choicesflooring.com.au and discover the carpet solution that's just right for you. With savings across the range, now is the time to visit your nearest Choices Flooring showroom.
Experience the excitement of Melbourne's newest sporting team, Melbourne Mavericks.
And tickets are now available for Mavericks versus the Vixens at John Cain Arena Sunday, April 14.
Be a Maverick. Strong, fearless, a trailblazer. Tickets available at melbournemavericks.com.
Summer racing in Tasmania. It doesn't get any better. The stars shine on and off the track during the Ladbroke Summer Racing Festival, and with the Hobart and Launceston Cups in February, there's no better time to be trackside.
Swoop Dog trying to kick back. Hyper's flying. Ashy Boy's in front. It's yours, Steve-O. Ashy Boy wins the cup and Froggy makes it 8.
It's on. Right across Tassie, right across summer. Book your tickets today at goracingtasmania.com.au.
Ensure a smooth journey by starting your next road trip at your local Repco authorised service centre, where expertise meets reliability. Our technicians will check your vehicle is road trip ready. At Repco Authorised Service, we prioritise your safety and peace of mind. Don't let car troubles ruin your holiday. Book your service online at repcoservice.com and hit the road with confidence.
So I hear you guys have started to build your new home.
Yeah, that's right.
But I thought you were waiting until interest rates came down.
Don't need to. Henley have a fund to pay $1,000 a month off our home loan for 2 years.
What? Wow, that's 24 grand off your mortgage payments.
Yeah, and it includes all new builds. Wait a minute, where are you going?
To get AAMI and visit Henley.
Henley's Mortgage Fund. $1,000 a month off your home loan for 2 years. All backed by Henley's $7 billion parent, Sumitomo Forestry Group.
The Challenger PGA Tour of Australasia season is heating up, and the chase is on this weekend. Watch our best up-and-coming golfing stars as they battle it out in a race to the top of the order of merit for a chance to play on the world stage. The Challenger PGA Tour of Australasia. The chase is on. Visit pga.org.au or watch it live on Fox Sports and KO this weekend.
Right now at Macca's, go large or medium or small. This month, get any soft drink, any size for just $1. Value means more at Macca's. Available at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery. Excludes frozen soft drinks.
You're listening to the 2024 AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation.
Comes to ground, Stewart did well. Henry, he threw that footy.
And holding on.
Absolutely tossed it away. Ball spilled free. Finds its way to Gresham, kicks the goal. It's for the equal biggest margin of the game. From 40 metres out, it's a beautiful kick. And he's having an outstanding evening is Darcy Parish. The Bombers have kicked the 2 goals of the term. And they lead by 10 points at 3/4 time. So it's there to be won for either of these teams. We're heading off to Alberton for the Port Adelaide Fremantle game after this, as the Community Series continues to roll its way through, and these teams with the finishing touches on their pre-season campaigns. Coons, what What do you think the messaging was out of the two camps here at three-quarter time?
Gee, that's loud over the PA. Jesus. Cats fans, calm down. Well, the messaging from an Essendon point of view would be, it's been a terrific 3 quarters of footy.
Let's win the game, right?
We've moved it well. We're dominating inside. Mids are getting plenty of the ball. Let's finish it off. Yeah. We've got 1 quarter to go before we get into the real stuff. Let's finish on a positive note and roll into the season with a bit of momentum. And I think from a Geelong point of view, I think there would have been a word spoken about trying to shut down the intercept marks and the uncontested type of game. And it's not panic stations by any means from Chris Scott, but I think there would have been a quiet word about just defending a little bit stronger.
That bloke was really loud at three-quarter time, screaming at people in here, like really screaming at them. Anyway,
10K in the house.
People like that these days. It's a good, about quarter full in it, yep. So we're underway. It's a scrappy start. They'll be feeling the pinch now, won't they? Long pre-season coming to its end.
If you had your choice of seating around the stadium, are you going straight to the terrace?
The stand-up area?
Yeah.
You'd like to watch a game here standing up, I reckon. Yep, you'd like to give that a crack. So the Bombers get first access to the footy heading in their direction, but it's only as far as Asheen Mullen, who takes it over the boundary line in between wing and half forward, members side of the ground.
Major ball winners. Parrish 27, Holmes with 24, McGrath 22, Setterfield 21. He snuck up on us, Will Setterfield.
Yeah.
Nick Martin 21, 2 snags off half back.
Yeah, he's going to be an important player in their setup this year. Opposition teams will need to put a lot of time into Nick Martin. Brad Close watching him at the minute. Stanley jars it out to Bowes, who's wrapped up by Caldwell. Ball not going anywhere. Quick throw up. Cox gathers the crumb at ground level. Does nicely. Pokes it into the pocket. Looking for Menzies. Mullen quick. Gathers the footy. Langford wraps him up. Mullen throws the footy on his boot. Around the body. String it to the top of the square. Jones. But it was a good fist by DeConing going back with the footy in the square. Thumps it through for a behind.
Strong position from DeConing. Standing in front of his opponent. Able to score the ball over.
62-51 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts. AFL Nation always for McDonald's. The new McCrispy at Macca's. Delicious. Zach Tui around the body. Nice clean hands from Blitzarves. Quickly gives it to Close, who gets away and off Martin. Up towards half 40 goes. Out the back, Neal can't get there. Big fist from Reed. McGrath read the crumb. Kicks it out on the full. Under pressure from Stengel, who's kicked a couple, but has been relatively well held. Hawkins wants the free kick, but his old mate Dangerfield is being told to take it. Laverde annoying Hawkins. Now hands him over to Ben Mackay, who hands him back. Dangerfield shaping as though he wants to take this on. He'll kick.
Why not?
From just inside 50. That's a thumping drop punt. It's drawing back, but then it stops drawing about 10 metres out from goal and drifts across the face for another behind. 6-16, 52, 9-8, 62. Bombers by 10. Early stages last quarter. Martin misses Merritt. Sorry, Coons, we'll get back to you. It was almost calamitous. Laverde ran onto the loose footy. Out of defensive 50. Stewart can't mark out of bounds. What were you about to say?
Jordan Ridley will take no further part in the game after suffering a quad injury.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So that is less than ideal.
Oh, that is not even close to anything resembling ideal.
He's the guy who sets them up behind the ball.
Such an important player for them, particularly down there where they can be got at. Oh, that's a huge blow. We'll hope it's on the very minor end of quads. They can be so problematic. That's shocking news for the Bombers. Well, that takes the air out of this one if you're an Essendon supporter.
Yeah, particularly when you're experimenting with Nick Cox down there at times playing on Jeremy Cameron. Laverde missed the first half. Involved in the second here. He's playing as the deepest defender at the moment. You just mentioned they are a bit light on with Zach Reed down there as well, who's inexperienced. So
Setterfield to Parrish. The kick finds its way to Stringer just. Had to have a couple of bites at it.
Got the journey from here.
You're backing him? It's just Byron. The ball's been dropping 5 metres short into the players' stand at this end today. So, we know he's a powerful beast when he gets everything behind it. He's going to have to kick it, from 50? He's going to have to kick it from 55 and have to kick it 62 to get it over the line. Nowhere near it.
Give himself a chance.
Cross the face, drop short of the line and harmlessly and a bit aimlessly out of bounds in the end. So, not Stringer's best. He's probably feeling a bit leg weary.
Started well.
Yeah, he's been all right.
Faded.
Ball thrown in. Bryan and Stanley, ground level. Perkins wrapped up by a couple.
Be happy with his 4 tackles tonight, though. Jake Stringer, forward half player. They were fair weight in gold if you can lock the ball on your forward 50.
Bombers on the up. Perkins in a bit of space. Pretty good at this. Across the face, hits the post. An early goal here for Essendon will make it a long way back for the Cats. The goal scoring has really dried up since half-time, just the 2 majors.
It was a good move from Perkins.
Yeah.
It looked good. Good agility.
Nice step from Manor. Puts it out in the path. Unneeded to stay in play. Dempsey runs onto it. Hawkins on his left. Cuts it back inboard. There's a chance of the Cats here. Reaching over the top was Neal. It's going to fall for Bowes. He's under pressure. O'Connor keeps it in front of him. He's got a couple out of back. Bowes is one of them. Bruin, nice little bit of vision. Out to half forward. Mullen runs to 50. Goes for home, the Irishman. It wasn't a great kick. And Mackay put under a bit of pressure right at the very end as he was about to take the mark by Dempsey. And over the line it goes. We'll have a boundary throw in.
And a bit more time and space. O'Sheen Mullen. And just kicked it about 49. Could have run into 45 and really nailed it.
So Hawkins and Mackay. Mackay gets to front position. Drops it down. Dersma wrapped up. Chance now. Manor around the body. Goal. Half a sniff on the spin. It was all a bit chaotic, but not for Sean Manor, who kicks a important goal in the context of this match. 7-16-58 Geelong. Essendon 9-9-63.
He's come on and made an impact. Manor been involved a couple of times. We mentioned that mature body coming in at half time has been difficult. There's been a couple of players out there haven't been able to keep up with the pace after sitting on the pain for a half, but Manor's been okay. Nice finish too.
Yep. On the oath it was. So they fought hard to keep it in there, the Cats. They certainly had their chances. 23 scoring shots to 18. They've been able to generate shots at goal. There's been a couple of out on the falls as well in that mix. So despite the lack of footy that they've been able to accumulate compared to Essendon, they have been the busier of the two sides in front of goal. Bryan to Caldwell, but he can't do anything with it. Holmes can. Sweeping ball to the run provided by Mullen. He gets it to Bruin inside forward 50, or certainly to the arc of forward 50 to go. Dangerfield to gather. Gives it on the up. Beautiful stuff across the body. Hawkins takes the mark. It was a lovely kick from Brad Close, who always knew he had the big fella leading into space.
And a glimpse of what we want to see in the future from the Cats. Yeah. Holmes in the middle, out to Bruin, and Mullen getting involved as well with some speed. So that looks a completely different looking midfield dynamic in there, with Holmes able to break away and getting to the outside with Mullen, who's got some speed on him.
He kicked there first. He should kick their eighth, and if he does, he puts them back in front. Hawkins from 30 out, as good as directly in front. Oh. And he's missed. He's had an off day.
He doesn't miss them.
No, he does not. 7-17-59. 9-9-63. AFL Nation for Maccas. All the numbers on your tyre power board, your trusted tyre experts. Martin, that is a shocking kick.
5 behinds from your key forwards, Jeremy Cameron and also the big tomahawk. Hawkins has kicked 1 goal. Jeremy Cameron 0.
Awful kick from Martin, caught everybody offside, and it bounced off the boot of Blitzarves, out of bounds, 60 out from the Geelong goal. Bryan stands in front on the second bite, gets it to Parrish. Around the body he goes, tumbles it into space. Goldstein in front, goes to ground. Menzies goes in and paddles it over the boundary line. Knew exactly what he was doing. The umpire says ball it in.
So got Jade Gresham, Essendon forward, coming up just behind the stoppage here, which is... a free man back there if they can get it to him.
Well, they can't. Stanley assumed the better position, got it to Holmes. Clark stands up in the tackle, gets it to Blitzarves, over the top to Holmes, underground to Bruin, now back to Holmes, in a bit of space, bursts away, has a bounce, gets it to Myers. Myers he can't find his man there, just a bit off. Hawkins tries to thump it back into a couple of cats, into the shins of a couple of Bombers. Gresham under all sorts of pressure, ridden into the ground, says the umpire. It was spirited chase from close, but he got into his back. Now he plays on, has to come sideways, needs to find his man. It's Perkins, they're coming hard at him. Two cats chase him down. Around the body he goes, Tui, just eased under the footy by Guelph. The umpire said it was fine. Locals don't agree.
Borderline.
Guelphy off the outside of the boot. Jones has got his name under it, just jumped under the footy a bit in the end. Gives the Cats a look at it. Bowes, handball, sweeping, gets it to Guthrie, gets it to Tui. Tui's got a man on. It's Manor, who's been okay in the centre square. Bides a bit of time, gives it back to Tui. Hits him lace out. Tui runs straight through the middle of Geelong. Gives it over to Myers. He'll try and find somebody. Now he decides to go for home. The goal umpire doesn't move. And they are peppering away here, the Cats. And they reclaim the lead, 8-17-65. Myers kicks a beauty, a wonderful team goal. Essendon 9-9-63. AFL Nation for McDonald's. The new McCrispy tried today at Macca's.
See, that's good movement from Geelong. We've seen it a few times from Essendon, but on that occasion, just working their way through. Manor, it's a really smart player, getting himself into a dangerous position, middle of the ground, and then Zach Tui put the Jets on. He was screaming for the handball over the top. Manor saw him late, dished it over the top, and then Essendon had to come forward to try and defend that. Myers, man, had to leave and try and affect the contest, which left him out the back all by himself and generally finishes well.
Back in the middle we go. Neil gets his look at it against Goldstein. Clark's been good. Worked away all throughout the afternoon. Geelong go forward. Dempsey can't mark at the arc of 50. Follows up his own work. Gets away from a couple. Dances through the congestion. Into the pocket. Stengel. Battered into the ground by Merritt. Umpire said all clear, play on. It was a good spirited physical contest from Merritt. Nothing wrong with that. Down the line he goes. Can't mark. Ground level Durham. Bowes gets the clean hands on the footy. Finds his man Manor. Has another go. Off hands. Top of the square. Mackay had to be good. Was Martin under pressure. Back to Merritt, who's dropped back to help a hand. Give a helping hand now. Down the corridor he goes, and he finds Laverty. Nothing wrong with the Merritt defensive spoil, Coons.
Well, he took the body, but he also spoilt the ball. So you're allowed to actually make contact as long as you spoil the footy as well.
Hines gets it at half forward, a bit of space. He finds Jones just inside forward 50. Quick movement by the Bombers. And a couple of locals still unhappy with the treatment at the other end of the ground.
I think it was a fair spoil.
Yep.
Because he made contact with the body as well. The Cats fans weren't happy with it, but it's a genuine attempt on the ball. So fine by me, and well done to Zach Merritt too, midfielder working back deep into defence to help out. Put the spoil on, but also got it back going the other way with some smart ball use.
So Jones giving every indication that he's backing himself here. He's going to have to kick from 53. It's a nice looking kick off the boot. It's right to the line, but off hands. And then through for a behind 9-10-64. It's a 1 point game, 8-17-65.
It's a real cliffhanger, this one.
Well, it is. Doesn't mean anything, but it's a cliffhanger. Dempsey, good hands, this kid. Takes a nice mark, gives it to Holmes, who's just been running all day. They can't get near him. In the end, it was a brilliant chase from Durham, the one bloke who could get near him. Gets a pat on the back from Holmes, who was the man run down by Durham. It was an important tackle. as the Cats were surging again. Reed goes down the line. Martin can't mark. Now they're under pressure. Holmes is exhausted, falls over. Cox gets it to McGrath. He's been terrific. Tumbles it down the line. Off hands. Out of bounds it goes.
Bit of cramp from Max Holmes.
Yep.
Coming to the Pine. Gee, what a chase from Durham. He's sucking in the big ones as well. Didn't give up on it. Dragged him down eventually. Good team lift of that. That should drag them over the line in this one.
Just protect those hamstrings at every single cost, Max Holmes.
Yeah, don't bring him back on.
No, not now. Centre field under pressure. Kicks it out of bounds on the full. 24 disposals. Holmes, nearly 600 metres gained.
Get the cotton wool out.
They've been very good. Kicked a goal as well. De Koning with the free kick. Neil up in front of Cox, can't mark. Bowes has got a couple of important possessions in this last quarter. Dempsey puts it in the path of Manor, who just taps it nicely for O'Connor. Gets it to close. Manor's going to run to receive here. O'Connor keeps going as a nice option. Top of the square. He hasn't got enough on it. Laverde drops the mark. Stengel the crumb. Stengel the goal. 9-17-71 Geelong, 9-10-64. Jaden Laverde is going to be kicking himself.
He is. Crafty stuff from Manor, who wanted the handball back from close, went in board. Terrible kick from O'Connor in the end. It was an easy one, just spilt from Laverde on the goal line. Stengel pounced. But again, Ollie Dempsey, he's clever, isn't he?
He's got some good hands.
He's round one lock for me.
Yep. There you go.
11-6.
The work that you and Benny Lyon did with our effects mic, I don't even need to tell you the crowd because you've placed it so perfectly that you've heard that at home.
Standing erect, isn't it?
Now, just watching, there's a bit of work being done on the bench. I'm sure there's nothing. Yeah, there you go. Holmes can see himself getting worked on the bench on the big screen, and to allay any potential fears, he's given it the thumbs up. So that is terrific from young Max Holmes. Goldstein, the clearance, but only as far as Buse at centre-half back. Mark, free kick, take your pick. Cats have responded well in this quarter. Kicked the 3 goals of the term. Buse straight down the middle of Kidinia Park. Ball at ground level 2B1. Goldstein does the winning, but then coughs it up out the back. Hawkins runs onto the loose footy, finds Clark, runs onto the mark, takes it with one hand, and then the distribution to Dempsey was outstanding. Just couldn't claim the mark. Stengel dancing in a bit of space around the body was beautiful. Play on's the call, the spoil from Martin, just in the nick of time. Caldwell's handball batted down. Stengel goes in and gets it. Another lovely little touch kick into the pocket, and Dempsey this time takes the mark.
There's a bit to like about Jai Clark as well.
Oh, is there? What?
Yeah, he's another smooth mover.
Yep.
Just took that nonchalant with the one hand, kicked it into Dempsey, who's got another shot at goal. Has he kicked one tonight?
Negative. No, he's taken 3 or 4 very nice marks tonight. Good strong hands, this kid, and part of the pink boot, headband, blonde hair brigade kicks the goal. So the Cats have responded here in front of their home fans. It's going to be a significant year with this stadium being unveiled in all its glory. They want to get back to where they know they belong, and that's in the top half playing finals. And they wanted to get a win on the board, and they've done enough in this last quarter to give themselves a very good chance now. 10-17-77 Geelong, Essendon 9-10-64.
And been outplayed, really, for the majority of the evening. Still 27 scoring shots to 19. And having been outworked for the majority of this through the middle of the ground, you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Again, 27 scoring shots against you. You spoke about it last week. It's been an improved performance, no doubt, on what they served up against St Kilda. But still,
yeah, heavy activity at the other end of the ground, and unfortunately that quad injury to Jordan Ridley. So that's going to be the tail of the downside for Essendon. And Geelong go forward, but Martin cuts it off out of side of the ground. Half back. They've dried up this quarter.
Yeah, run stopped.
Yep.
Q in rack. Ready for round one.
Setterfield. Short to McGrath out of side of the ground. He's been good.
Tempo footy for a few minutes. No.
Dersma.
No.
McGrath back to Dersma. Left foot. Inside forward 50. But the Cats have got all the answers now. And Mitch Duncan drops back and takes the relieving defensive mark sideways to Tui. They're giving the impression of a team that is happy just to take a minute or two off the clock here, the Cats. Down the line he goes. Cox comes at it. No mark. O'Connor caught one in the back of the bonds. Chance Sardis was good and clean. Setterfield wrapped up by Close, who kept coming with him. Ball jarred free. Buse gets a handball away, was battered down. Clark in the middle of it. Setterfield gets it to Sardis. Sweeping handball into space. Tui intercepts. Quick kick around the body just to get it away from me. Kick. Ball continues to spill free. It's not coming out of that. As Stanley's wrapped up by Setterfield. And another. And we'll have a ball up just inside forward 50 for the Bombers. 21 minutes gone in the last quarter. They don't want any chance of winning it. You feel like they need to get one pretty quickly here, the Dons. Bowes held, threw it away. Umpire said it was a legitimate enough handball. Boundary line, Manor, McGrath, footy, throw in. What do you thought of Manor, the little bit we've got to see of him?
He's looked like he not belongs at the level, but he hasn't been overawed. He's made some good decisions, some crafty little tap-ons. He's kicked a goal, so hasn't looked overawed at all.
Brian thumps it out of the clearance, but only as far as Henry.
He shouldn't look overawed. He's 32.
He's not 32.
Looks 32.
He's 26. Well, short Duncan into the defensive goal square.
Tough to get to 200.
Well, it'll be a hell of a story if he does.
Yeah, he's got to get to his grand final ticket. Get 200 games.
Right. So they go from one side of the ground to the other. McGrath, the last one there, as the ball spits out all the way over the back. Inboard he goes, and Guelphy, who could have started the game on fire, but just coughed a couple up, takes the mark, goes short into the pocket to Gresham, who marks. Is what he likes to do, around the body, over the left shoulder, and has missed. What do you think, Jade Gresham? Does he look like he's, so far providing a bit of a spark, a bit of bite for the Bombers?
Well, you want spark up forward, and I think with Gresham, you're going to have to take the good with the bad, because he does like to kick the ball around his body and will spot up some options that most players wouldn't even dream of. So, and he's going to turn it over a couple of times, but he's set up a couple and he's kicked a couple, so that's all you can expect as a forward.
50 against Jake Stringer. Suddenly the Cats are inside forward 50. Caldwell around the body. Menzie a chance. Can't mark. Clark was good and fierce with the spoil. Ball spills to Durham. The kick was poor.
Mung.
Yep. Jai Clark, number 13 for Geelong.
Look out for him.
Yeah. Queenscliff boy, another one out of the Geelong under-18s.
He's just done a few things where you've sort of just sat up and took notice of him.
Ball heaved in centre wing position. Bryans working as hard as he can in his short period of time on the ground. Parrish has been terrific. Sardis has had heaps of it up towards half forward, but the kick was a tumbler. And Henry, who's emerging and growing into this one, marks on the defensive 50. Called to play on, does so. McGrath had his name on it. Durham got his hand in the way. McGrath kicks it just haphazardly forward. Henry comes at it, can't take it with him. Buse just...
Oh, is that on the floor?
Well, he knew exactly... I'd love to see the AFL tighten up on that. I know that when you're forcing the ball towards the boundary line and you're heading that way...
Professional fumble.
Yep. But the AFL, we know if we want to keep the ball in play, the AFL know that Jed Buse knew exactly what he was doing then. And it'll encourage the chaser to chase with a bit more intensity, because you know that
giving up on it, throwing your hands up, waiting for a free.
Yep. So the Cats intercept again. Guthrie goes wide to Dempsey. Dempsey's got one on O'Connor right down the middle. He wanted to give it to De Koning. He was just thwarted as he's about to offload the handball. It was good stuff from Martin. Now he runs into space. The Irishman drives it up towards half forward. There's 3-on-2 here. It's getting out the back. Nice tackle by Manor. Ball spills free. He was up against Merritt, so it was a high-quality opposition. The ball spills now to Myers around the body, typically top of the screen. Close flies! Had to sit on Laverde, who's had a couple of moments he'd like to have back in this last quarter. And he was a step ladder for Brad Close there. Really nothing Laverde could do about that.
No, just unfortunate positioning and a superb kick from Brian Myers. He waits the ball nicely.
Now,
Close, where's he going?
He's 14 metres out directly in front, so he goes around the body. He's kicked a goal. He's had an ordinary day kicking at goal, so try something a bit different. The mark was right out of the top drawer. Geelong have put 5 on the board in this last quarter to none from the Bombers, and they're kicking away here. 11-17-83. It's been a good finish by the home team. 9-11-65 the Bombers. AFL Nation for McDonald's Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts.
I don't think Jaden Laverde will be putting his hand up to begin a game at half-time ever again.
No.
He would want to warm up with the lads. He got here the same time as me. We drove into the car park together.
Well, he must have known that he wasn't playing the first half.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, game's on in an hour.
Yeah.
He caught in traffic.
It's keeping it tight.
Drove the Beamer right past me, he did.
Berwick BMW, of course, providing, I'm sure it was from Neil Phillips and his team.
He might have paid more than what you get yours for, which is nothing.
Unfortunately, his car is his. Mine belongs to someone else.
That's even better. Give it back and get another one.
Jack Bowes has been okay in the second half. Gets away from his man, drives the Cats forward again. Laverde gets a good fist on that one. Mackay, good to hands. Gets it to McGrath under pressure. Had to get rid of it. He does. Sardis, I've liked his game. His kicking hasn't been all that flash, but he's been able to get around the footy enough to be a factor. But the kick was poor and it was cut off by Stanley. How many for Sardis today?
Yeah, he's had a bit of the footy. He's had 23 disposals. He just needs to tidy up a couple of things. But if you're smart enough at this level to be able to get your hands on it, 20, 25 times as a young player, there's a future there. Just clean up that disposal and you'll be right.
Cat share it around. Tui drives it inside forward 50. Mackay drops on. He should have taken. Dersma just thumps it out. Well, momentarily of the danger zone, but it's going to come back into Koning. Handball onto the boundary line. Manor wrapped up. It was a fierce tackle, and it was holding the ball.
That's hot.
Gee whiz. So Dersma wins a free kick. Well, go short to Merritt.
What you need from Mackay, though, as that big forward, as he will take a mark here and get it going forward, but getting back into the hole, intercepting, he just had to mark that footy. Late in a game, it could cost you down the track, but you're a big key defender, got himself in the perfect position, just let the ball slide straight through his hands, so no doubt he'll clean that up for round one and won't make that mistake.
He's been neat enough down there, I reckon, Ben Mackay.
Well, you're right, and their forwards haven't got out of control.
No.
And they can do that, Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins. So he's played his role.
Whistle, Shepherd, marking contest free kick to Zach Reid.
Not sure he's quite earned his money tonight.
Well, he needs to work very hard.
Given he's on about 1.4 this year. He's got to have 15 intercept marks and kick a couple of goals himself down the other end.
Not his fault that they wanted to give him all the money.
Well, you're not going to say no to it,
No, you'd be pretty silly.
No, thank you. I would not like to be paid that much this year.
Merritt goes into the corridor. Stringer goes with the one hand, brings it down to his own advantage. Parrish had to be quick. He was in the end. Caldwell goes short to Martin. Martin wants to pull the trigger straight away. Top of the square he goes. Can't take the mark, Jones. Ground level Hind. Hind kicks the goal. So they get one on the board in the last quarter. It's been heavy sledding for the Bombers as the Cats have done all the attacking in the last term. But Hind has tried to work his way into the game, having come on at halftime. Gets on the board. 10-11-71. The Cats 11-17-83. AFL Nation for McDonald's. The new McCrispy at Macca's.
And at this stage of the game, Andy, every player out there is thinking one thing.
McCrispy.
Siren into McCrispy.
McCrispy on the way home. Thank you.
Into McFlurry.
And if I need some new tyres, I'll go to Tyre Power and get them. Maybe not tonight.
Work late on Friday nights, do they? The crew at Tyre Power?
Well, they would if you needed them to, I'm sure. 29 and a half minutes gone. 6 goals in the quarter. 12 points the diff. Brian and Stanley in the middle. Good bounce from Matt Stevic. Brian toe pokes it into space. Go and get it. Clark does do the going and getting, but he's wrapped up straight away. There's going to be a free kick. He was taken high.
See the attack on the ball from a player who is still fighting for a spot in round one.
Yeah.
Who's going to play it out to the final siren?
If they don't pick him, his name's going to be in the conversation for a while, I reckon. He brings something to this midfield that they're going to need more of, and he's been impressive today. And as you picked him out early, Coons, and he's got better the further the game's worn on, really. So
yeah, he's in the mix for sure.
Hind bounces his way to half forward, brings the footy into the corridor. There's no one there for the Bombers, and the Cats mop it up easily. O'Connor takes the mark.
Yeah, 18 disposals.
Yeah, he's not going to knock your socks off with the stat line, but
4 clearances, 4 tackles.
Yep.
He hasn't played the full game through the middle of the ground, but he's done enough to suggest that he's right in the mix.
Cox wore one late in the game when he failed to take the mark he might have otherwise taken. It's knocked on by Jones, but out of bounds. Nick Cox, what is he going to be? What, at the end of the day, when he's the finished product, what is he going to be? At the moment, he's picking up Tyson Stengel.
I'm not sure.
No, it's hard to peg him, isn't it?
I feel uncomfortable with him in defence.
Yep.
I think it's a floating sort of high forward up to the wing. Possibly.
Is he a good enough? I mean, I'm sure he's a good runner.
Aerobically, I think he's very sure.
Yeah, but is he dynamic enough to be in that part of the ground? He's over the footy here. He can't keep it in play, and out of bounds it goes. Is he, has he got the ping, and is he,
But he can just work and float.
Yep.
He doesn't have to, power up and down. He's not the quickest player, but if he can just work, become a workhorse. Because a forward that can take a mark when they come out of defence, coming up the ground, and then give it off to teammates running past, something along the lines of that. It's hard because he's big and he can run.
Oh, you can see why you're drawn to him as a potential player,
not as a key defender.
So the Cats go through their pre-season opposition hit-outs undefeated. Too good for Carlton, and they overrun Essendon, having trailed at quarter-time, half-time and three-quarter time. A 5-goal-to-1 last quarter season run-out winners here, 11-17, 83 the Cats. The Bombers, 10-11, 71. So they get through injury-free to Cats with a couple of wins under their belt. The same can't be said of the Bombers, who unfortunately suffer a significant injury to Jordan Ridley, who is out on the ground right now with his right quad heavily iced up. So it's on the front of the leg, as you'd expect. What do you make of that? Are you good at reading into the way these things are iced and a player's body language, Kearns?
Well, he's been off for half an hour, would you say?
Yeah, about that. Yep.
Ice still applied. And then, minimal, it's going to be a couple of weeks, isn't it? Really, sort of 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes quads can take longer. It's on his kicking leg also.
Yep.
So you have to be a bit more careful in terms of that. It's a devastating blow for Essendon. Even just looking tonight, they look so much more organised when he's back there. Quite often he's that anchor defender.
Oh, yeah.
He just sits back and controls the play and floats across. And and marks from opposition kicks quite often. So, yeah, with a backline that is light on at the moment, with Mackay's their main man down there, but experimenting with a couple of other players around there, and Cox and Reid, who's
he was okay
at the level.
He was okay today, I reckon, Zachary.
Yeah, he took a few good intercept marks, but he just doesn't have the strength yet to be able to wrestle with the big dogs. And Ridley is their security blanket.
Yeah, sure is.
And they lose him for round one, most likely. So a lot is going to fall on the shoulders of Laverde, who's going to have to play out of position and out of his weight division again. And can Cox and Reid hold down the third post that Zerk Thatcher has left open?
So 2 goals to the winners for Tyson Stengel, and a bunch of singles around him. Stewart, Neil Holmes, Manna, Myers, Dempsey and Close. 3 to Langford for the Bombers, 2 to Martin, singles to Gresham, Stringer, Parrish and Hind. In the end, it's a 12-point win in front of 11,638 who turned up on this Friday afternoon. It's a beautiful evening right now to see the Cats finish a pretty impressive pre-season hit-out period. Look, we talked a lot, Coons, about at half-time the discrepancy, uncontested possessions and uncontested marks, and the fact that it was telling a bit of a tale at three-quarter time. Essendon led by 10, felt like the game had been played on their terms. But in the end, Geelong's had 28 scoring shots to 21. I don't know what the inside 50 numbers were in the end, but I suspect they were probably Geelong's way pretty comfortably. Essendon using a lot of footy, around the ground rather than going inside forward 50. So, I don't know, maybe Geelong's comfortable. Maybe they're going to go, this is who we are. We're going to give up our share of footy. We know that, but we're going to back our defenders to defend. And, we've got a forward line that's going to be, on another day, they kick 17-11 here, and it's a comfortable win.
Yeah. I mean, at times I was looking at it and feeling vulnerable for them through the middle of the ground. But then, I suppose you look behind the ball, and De Koning is happy to sit back. Stewart is happy to sit back.
Henry.
And they just watched it unfold. And as soon as their small forwards get too high up the ground, they just sit back and they'll feast all day. I do think the best sides could cut them up through there, and Essendon did that at times and were able to score. But they are so comfortable in how they play, and the guys down there they have so much faith in and that they trust to get the job done. So whilst it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable at times looking at it, when a lot of the competition press up high, they want to keep the ball in their forward half and make it really hard for teams and squeeze the ground and do all those sorts of things to make it hard for teams to move through the middle of the ground. And looking at it tonight, Geelong certainly bucked that trend. Is it a good way to play? Well, geez, it works for them. And it has worked for a very long time. And if De Koning can stand tall as he's done in the beginning part of his career, and they have players like Tom Stewart down there who controls everything behind the ball, then I mean they're set up again. It's the evolution, I suppose, of Max Holmes going from winger to bit part midfielder to playing the first half at half back and running off, which added a different element and dynamic to the Cats game. Rebounding with Mitch Duncan at times, it looked pretty good. It was some speed off half back, which we haven't seen for a while. And then he moved into the midfield and was equally as damaging. So Holmes is set for a terrific season. If you go, if you want to read into that pre-season game, he's fast. He attracted plenty of the ball. He had 6 inside 50s in the first half as a running defender, which is a huge number, and then was equally as damaging, as I mentioned, once he was shifted to more full-time midfield. So there's a lot to like from the younger brigade. I think Neil did a few good things. Dempsey is a lock for round one, high half forward, had plenty of the ball and kicked a goal, and we certainly like the snippets of positivity we saw from Jai Clark. So I mean, whilst they looked vulnerable at times and allowed Essendon to have a mountain of the footy in terms of uncontested mark and uncontested possession, they they felt a lot more comfortable than me and you at times watching.
So it's funny. I think it's a really interesting observation that you made about the way the game played. It didn't look like when Essendon was dominating with that possession, they weren't. They were quite dangerous possessions. It wasn't like Geelong's just sagging back, waiting for the ball to get to them. This was Essendon cutting its way through Geelong, and Geelong was they were on the back foot a bit, and it did look like they were a bit unsettled by what Essendon was doing. And yet at the end of the day, the tail of the tape's in front of us, and you can walk away. So you think that Geelong, if they're going to be, it's those players, isn't it? It's Holmes, Bruin, Clark if he plays, Dempsey, Stengel getting back into something like he's better form. Jack Bowes being able to do enough when required.
Yep.
I don't know how much of Sean Manor we're going to see during the home and away season, but they know that he's a usable player now. They've seen enough from him today to know, well, if we have to put him in the team, we're not going to be scared that he's going to let us down.
Yep.
So
the bright lights won't get him. He's mature enough to be able to deal with it. We saw that tonight. Made some good decisions with ball in hand.
Mullen's got some dash. Whether he's how evolved he is going to be the big question mark. But he looks like a player who wants to be picked and wants to play. So they got enough, I reckon, in the end, from enough of those other players tonight. And when you look at the bottom line, their superstars have been quiet tonight. Cameron has been relatively quiet. Paddy, did a bit in the second half, but, was relatively quiet. Hawkins has had a quiet one.
Myers, who's just about their most dangerous weapon that they've got forward of the ball at the moment. Certainly with ball in hand. He wasn't huge.
So they're a fascinating team. They're going to be really interesting to watch as the season, gets underway and unfolds. And we've got everybody going flat out at full strength to see how they kind of measure up week in, week out. We know one thing: they're always going to be hard to beat down here. So it's not the absolute fortress that it has been in the past, but they're still going to be really tough to get over the top of down here in Geelong.
It's 8 wins, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just 8 wins easily.
Yeah,
couple at the MCG, and then you're in the mix for finals if you jag a couple more.
Pinch a couple, that's right. Okay, what about the Bombers? Well, you walk away from this. Last week, I reckon you walk away from the St Kilda game a little unsettled by what you've seen. What did you make of them? What did you make of them tonight?
Well, so I didn't watch last week. So just judging on that performance, you'd be reasonably pleased.
Yep.
Take away the last quarter, where I think it was queue in the rack a little bit to an extent. Certainly the first half, I thought they looked the best side, and they were able to move the ball really well. I think their kicking game was strong. They were able to pinpoint those short passes and then get the game going. They also were pretty hard inside the contest and won clearances convincingly in the first half. Now, they only end up with 47 inside 50s for the game, which is not high enough considering they have 412 disposals, which is a huge amount of footy. So 47 inside 50s to 55, given that amount of ball, you could mount the argument that they overused the footy, but their ball movement wasn't just uncontested, slow, wide stuff. They were actually taking the game on and trying to get it back through the middle of the ground. They had some good success doing that. So, I wouldn't be too concerned at the moment, having only seen them play one game. It was, I thought, I won't say impressive, but there was certainly some good individual performances from players who were on the periphery that could lock themselves in now, where there's still question marks on players' positions and who should start. Where is Reid going to play round one is a question. Where is Cox going to play in round one? Has Dersma done enough to lock down a position on the wing? Is Nick Martin's best position at half back, or should he be a winger? Has Perkins done enough to play round one? He was quiet tonight. Where's his best position?
Again, one of those.
There's a lot. Guelphy didn't have his best night tonight. Sardis, you mentioned he had a lot of the footy, but was a little bit fumbly and execution wasn't there. Goldstein gets the nod for round one, obviously, unless Draper is fit. I think they'll probably play both of them anyway, even if Draper is fit, because he's coming off a limited prep.
So questions abound.
A lot of questions, no answers.
Well, we get some answers for some and a lot of questions for others. Been a joy to work with you. Good to see you again. Thanks for being part of it here tonight.
Always a pleasure to work with you. You know that.
AFL Nation for McDonald's, the new McCrispy at Macca's. Let's live some highlights of this one and then we're heading off to Port Adelaide and Freo. So you go around the body from about 30 here. He's starting on the boundary line. Couple of steps in. It's fairly routine for Tommy.
Done that before, hasn't he?
Yeah. And he puts his first on the board for the afternoon and Geelong. So 7 minutes into the opening quarter. Nice stuff here. Chance for Perkins. Gets a handball out to Caudle, who was wrapped up just as he was about to pull the trigger. Desperate tackle. Required tackle. Handball was poor. It was from Clark to put his man Holmes under all sorts of pressure. Gresham on the turnover around the body. It's a beautiful finish. Well, that's what he can do. He can hurt you. We know he's a high-class, high-quality operator. Jones steps one way, then the other. Gets a handball out to Langford to Durham. Chance for Caudle around the body. Goal! So Martin kicks his second. And again, a quick chain of handballs from the Bombers. Over the top of it was Neal. Somehow spits its way out. Advantage paid. And this bloke is running hot, Max Holmes. Quick answer. Ball comes to ground. Stewart did well. Henry, he threw that footy.
And holding on.
Absolutely tossed it away. Ball spilled free. Finds its way to Gresham. Kicks the goal. It's for the equal biggest margin of the game. From 40 metres out, it's a beautiful kick. And he's having an outstanding evening is Darcy Parish. The Bombers have kicked the 2 goals of the term. Hawkins and Mackay. Mackay gets to front position, drops it down. Dersma wrapped up. Chance now. Manna around the body. Goal! Half a sniff on the spin. It was all a bit chaotic, but not for Sean Manna, who kicks an important goal in the context of this match. So the Cats go through their pre-season opposition hit-outs undefeated. Too good for Carlton, and they overrun Essendon, having trailed at quarter-time, half-time and three-quarter time. A 5-goal-to-1 last quarter season run-out winners here, 11-17, 83 the Cats. The Bombers, 10-11, 71.